Jesus is real, but you devils taught lies on Christ. So many lies that when we come with the truth, people think that the lies is the truth and that the truth is the lie.
We changed the truth for God into a lie. In English, Jesus Christ, in Hebrew, is Yahweh Shai. So do or die. The immaculate conception is deception, along with the myth of giving gifts on December 25th. Christmas is Satan's claws, the birth of Nimrod, and not the son of God. To you was kinda odd. On the Passover, Christ was born in the spring. So now we bring the truth about the King of Kings. That's Black Jesus and not Caesar Borgias. And the facts can't be changed. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High.
Shalom, Israel.
Shalom.
This is Israelite School of Biblical History and Practical Knowledge. For those of y'all just joining us, shalom to you, which means peace in Hebrew. You can catch us at 8524 South Braeswood Boulevard, Houston, Texas 77071, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Monday and Wednesday class is from 7 to 10 p.m. Friday class is from 6 to 9 p.m. And Saturday morning classes go from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. All right, you can also catch us in San Antonio, Texas at 4219 Centergate Street. That's San Antonio, Texas 78217. And in Albuquerque, New Mexico at 501 Copper Avenue Northwest. That's Albuquerque, New Mexico 87102. All right, they should have the same class time, the same class schedule, but we let you know on those when if you call in. We also have businesses that support the work that we do. We sell fragrance oils in the malls across different locations in America, but especially in San Antonio, in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and in Houston. You can catch us down in First Colony Mall at 16535 Southwest Freeway, Sugar Land, Texas. All right, that's in First Colony Mall, right in front of the Victoria's Secret down there. And we'll sell you some beautiful fragrances. You can get your frankincense and myrrh, get your house smelling nice, and get them spirits out of there. Get you some nice lavender, any your cologne or perfume fragrances you can get there in a pure oil form. All right, and that'll support the work that we're doing, teaching the knowledge of the truth. We also have classes in Austin coming up to be announced, so we'll let you know on that. Kids classes every Sunday from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. All right, you can catch that live on the ISB HPK Kids channel. That's ISB HPK Kids. All right. Let's see. We're on the ISB HPK live because I'm saying this because we got the Facebook Live going also. But we are on ISB HPK Live on YouTube, and you can catch our older recorded shows and cable shows and street speakings and things like that on the Israelite School of Biblical History and Practical Knowledge channel on YouTube. All right, if you want any custom-made garments, like they did some beautiful ones for us this Passover that you see that I'm wearing here, you can get some beautiful custom-made garments. Go to Israel Wear on Facebook, and the sisters will hook you up with some beautiful garments at a very, very reasonable price. All right. We got our cable show coming up. That's going to be every Saturday from 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. That's a live cable show, a live call-in cable show. Please call in, support, ask questions. That way people see that we're not just sitting there talking to a camera. All right, call in, ask your questions. We'll address them live for the Houston area. That'll be beautiful for y'all. And then we also rebroadcast those shows edited on YouTube, as you'll see if you go to the YouTube page. So Israel Ware is taking orders. If you have any questions during class, you're out there and you're not in class, we encourage you, if you're in the Houston area, please be in class. But if not, that's cool. Go ahead and text us your questions. You can text me, please text only at 832-941-2443. Please text only during class, 832-941-2443. All right, you can also hit up Priest Kazakia before, after, or during class. He's going to be out there with the brothers. We got the State Fair in Arizona. So if you're in the Arizona area, you got the State Fair going on out there, catch us, get the oils, get you some knowledge. You can go talk to the brother right there, get a nice live class if you need to, right, one-on-one. That's Priest Kazakia at 281-707-2737. And you can also hit up Priest Kwatazap at 303-557-8979. If you want to email questions, some people don't want their questions addressed live. We don't mean to make nobody feel stupid. But, some people are a little skittish, so it's all good. You can email your questions in to isbhbk at isbhbk.org. That's isbhbk at isbhbk.org. All right? And if you have any donations you want to give, money, clothes, cars, books, the older the better on the books, dictionaries, thesauruses, etymology books, Zondervan's pictorial Bible dictionaries, Babylon to Timbuktu, Tropical Africa. A lot of these books, like the Russian icons, we show you guys these books, and 1 minute it'll be $10 on Amazon, the next minute it'll be $4,000 on Amazon. And that's because of what the work we doing here, the work the brothers and fellow Israelites are doing all across the country, exposing the lies that have been taught to you in these schools through their history books. So what they do is they jack the price up because they know you ain't gonna pay no $4,000 for a book. But we already got them, a lot of them, but we need more. All right, there's other books we need, and we definitely accept any donations. You can send those to any of the school addresses I gave you. That's 8524 South Braeswood Boulevard, Houston, Texas, 77071, 501 Copper Avenue Northwest, Albuquerque, New Mexico, 87102, or 4219 Centergate Street in Albuquerque, New Mexico, zip code 78217. All right? So again, if you have any questions, we leave the first little bit of class open for questions. If you have any questions, please go ahead and send them in. We are ready. Let me get this shared right here. To my personal page. All right, shalom to Mustafa Lane out there. Shalom to you, brother. All right, for anybody else joining us, shalom to you. And again, we're leaving the first little bit of class open for questions. If there are no questions, we're going to go right into the class. Very deep, meaty class. We're going to go into 2nd Esdras, and we're going to break down chapter 11 and chapter 12. I'm giving you the lead up, but most of the meat of 2nd Esdras chapter 11 is going to be explained in chapter 12 as we break down chapter 12. But I will be breaking down little parts of chapter 11 as we go through. So have your notes ready, have your pen all greased up and ready, man. Be ready to move through these notebooks because you're gonna get a lot of information, a lot of historical information that you can look up. All right, these ain't church classes, these ain't church meetings where you sit in church and you just and then next thing you know you sing a song and you go home, watch the football game. All right, these are classes where you can actually ask questions, take notes, study, go look the things up that we talked about. All right, this ain't me sitting up telling you about my life story for 3 hours and then saying Jesus love, and then you leave and you ain't got nothing to research afterward. You just got some goosebumps and a holy feeling. All right, you get to research these things. These are historical people that we're gonna bring up, historical dates. These are things you can look up in your history books. All right, so it's not a game. It's not a made-up story. It's not a fairy tale. These are historical. This is historical information you're gonna get dropped that coincides with what you are reading in the Bible. And a lot of it's gonna blow your mind. You'll never think that all that information was gonna be found right there in the book in front of you that you've been raised up off of in church. But do we got any questions in class? First of all,
Live, sir.
no questions.
Live.
All right. What about online?
Khan, there's a question. Someone asked, what is the understanding of Songs of Solomon, first chapter?
Understanding of Songs of Solomon, the first chapter, the whole chapter?
It just says first chapter.
Okay. Let's go there. Let's go to Song of Solomon, chapter 1. We got a question online. What is the understanding of Song of Solomon, the first chapter? I might go a little bit into it. Some of it might be an entire class on its own. So, sometimes when you ask for a whole chapter, you're going to get an entire class. So I don't want it to preempt what I'm doing now. That might be something we go ahead and say, okay, we're going to stop here, cut that into another class, make a class out of that for you. All right, so it's not a problem. We will do it. We do not shy away from any questions. Please don't think that we're afraid. But if you're asking for a whole chapter, that's a whole class. Let's see. Turn this down. All right, so you got the Songs of Solomon?
Good.
Go ahead.
Song of Solomon, chapter 1 and verse 1. The Song of Songs, which is Solomon.
Okay, so this is a Song of Songs, which is Solomon's. So what you're reading here, you go through the scripture, you find out Solomon wrote 1,000 psalms and thousands of poems and things like that. All right, he wrote many prayers, many psalms, many songs, just like his father David. But Solomon had more time on his hands. All right. So what you're reading here is the Song of Songs, which is Solomon's. Go ahead.
Let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth.
Now, first of all, Solomon is not a homosexual. Solomon was a righteous king up until his old age. Now, we just read that this is the Song of Songs, which is Solomon's, right?
Good.
So why is he saying, let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth? Now, we're going to address that, right? So he's not a homosexual. According to Leviticus 20:13, two men sleeping together should be put to death. All right? So Solomon was a righteous king. That means he was not engaged in homosexuality. He said, let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth. Read that again.
Good. Let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth. For thy love is better than wine.
For thy love is better than wine. Right?
Good.
Okay, so Solomon, again, not being a homosexual. All right? Not being a homosexual, he was not asking for a man to kiss him. He's prophesying. He jumps in and out, prophesying about Yahushua, about Christ. All right? Some parts he's talking about wisdom, his love affair with wisdom, and some parts he's talking about the coming of Christ and how Christ was going to deal. All right? So let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth is not talking about a homosexual act. All right? It's a greeting among men back in the day. You would greet each other with a holy kiss.
Good.
All right? You see it in a lot of mafia movies where they'll kiss each other full on the mouth. And they ain't French kissing each other. And you know they ain't homosexuals because most of them got like 3-4 girlfriends, and then at the same time, they be killing people by punching them in the face so they die. So, they're not homosexuals. These are warrior type men saying, listen, let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth. Why? This is a greeting. This was a greeting in Hebrew culture. So let's understand that first of all. Romans 16 verse 16. Y'all can get that for me real quick as y'all file in. But Romans 16 and verse 16, I'm going to read it for you until, brothers get filed in. It says, salute one another with a holy kiss. So this is Paul, another man, an apostle, telling you, salute one another with a holy kiss. So this was a salute that Solomon is talking about. This is not a homosexual act. This is 1 Corinthians 16 and 20. All the brethren greet you one another with a holy kiss. All right, so when we go back to Song of Solomon 1 and 1, we're not talking about a homosexual act. And there's many other scriptures. If you just type in holy kiss, there's about 4 different scriptures where he's showing you all through the New Testament that the holy kiss was a greeting. All right, go ahead.
Good. Because of the Savior of thy good ointments.
Where we at?
Song of Solomon, chapter 1 and verse 3.
Song of Solomon 1 and verse 3. Read that again.
because of the Savior of thy good ointments.
Right, because of the Savior of thy good ointments. All right. So the good ointments that was coming out of Christ's mouth was the wisdom. All right. When you read it Proverbs, I'm gonna try to find this real quick for you. So, like I said, Song of Solomon 1 is a lot of meat, so I probably will not be going through the whole thing. Let's see, is this it? There we go. Proverbs 27, verse 9. Proverbs, also part of Solomon's sayings. All right, part of Solomon's wisdom. And wisdom that was passed down to him from his father. So let's get the understanding of what the sweetness, the Savior of his ointments are. Go ahead.
Proverbs chapter 27 and verse 9. Ointment and perfume. Rejoice the heart.
See, he was talking about his heart rejoicing in Yahushua. In seeing this as a prophet, which Solomon was, he was rejoicing over the things he was going to see of Yahushua. Go ahead.
So doth the sweetness of a man's friend by hearty counsel.
Right. See, that's what he's talking about, that hearty counsel, that wisdom he saw Christ giving out. So these are the things he was welcoming Christ as a bride. Israel being the bride of Christ. He was welcoming Christ as if he was the bride of Christ. He was welcoming Christ as if he was in a love affair with Yahushua. You understand? This is how much a man would love another person of wisdom. Or when you get in the case of David and Jonathan, he said, your love for me surpasses the love of women. These are not homosexual people. How the hell you gonna have 21 wives? We weren't closet faggots. You got stoned to death, hit in the face with big rocks until you died for being a homosexual. It wasn't no passable offense. You know what I mean? When they want to sing the songs about, oh, I saw Daddy kissing Santa Claus. Uh-oh. It wasn't a passable offense. You got hit in the face with rocks until you died. All right? So the niggas wasn't on the down low with this. So none of this was homosexual. When you're reading Song of Solomon, don't let the church nasty people, the perverts, fool you and tell you that this is about some perverted act between a man and a woman. This is Solomon writing poetically about his love affair with Yahushua and his wisdom. Please understand that. Go ahead.
Song of Solomon chapter 1 and verse 4. Draw me, we will run after thee. The king had brought me into his chambers.
See, the king brought me into his chambers. He brought me into those wise places, those secret places. Go ahead.
We will be glad and rejoice in thee.
See, he said the king has brought me into his chambers. Now, this is the Song of Songs, which is Solomon's. Who's the king?
Solomon.
Uh-oh. So what king is he talking about?
Yahushua.
Exactly. If y'all think a woman wrote this, you're out of your damn mind. All right? If you really think they stopped in the middle of the Bible, gave you laws, statutes, commandments, porno, and then more laws, statutes, and commandments, you're out of your damn mind. All right? That's not how it works. It's not one of those kind of books, all right?
Songs of Solomon chapter 1 and verse 4. Last precept. We will remember thy love more than wine. The upright love thee.
He said, I will remember your love more than wine, right? The upright love you. Go ahead.
I am black, but comely.
What?
I am black.
Solomon was what?
Black.
Remember, this is a Song of Songs, which is Solomon, so if you thought he was white, if the movies fooled you, no. Song of Solomon was not a pale white man. How many white people you know will use the phrase, I am black, but comely? I'm dark and lovely. I'm black and beautiful. You ever heard a white person say that? Yo, dude, I'm black and beautiful, bro. Don't do that. That's not their phrase. All through the 70s, 80s, even today, I'm black and I'm proud. I'm dark and lovely. You know what I mean? I don't hear white people saying nothing like that. Especially not them fake Jews over there with the dreidels. Right. That niggas is paler than death, man. You can't tell me one of them was running around. Oi, I'm black and beautiful. Oi.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
But comely,
Right.
O ye daughters of Jerusalem.
So now, wait. Oh, so this was a woman writing it, but now she's talking about how beautiful she is to the daughters of Jerusalem? No. This is Solomon saying, listen, I'm black and beautiful, oh, you daughters of Jerusalem. Now remember, he was talking about himself sometimes, but he was mostly prophesying about Christ. So what color was Christ?
Black.
And what?
Beautiful.
And comely. But not his visage, not his image. He was talking about the wisdom. See that? Remember when you go to Isaiah, it says he was his visage was marred more than any man. Right? And he didn't have no beauty that you would want to look on him.
That's right.
So he wasn't talking about his outer beauty, how Jesus was black and sexy. All right? Go ahead.
As the tents of Kedar.
He's black as the tents of Kedar. Go ahead.
As the curtains of Solomon.
Right. Go ahead.
Look not upon me, because I am black.
Right.
Because the sun had looked upon me.
Right. So he's talking about his blackness not as a mood, as in like I'm black, I'm morose, I'm sad. He said because the sun smiled on me. Do white people get black with the sun? Ooh, Caucasians don't do that. They turn into lobster color with the sun, right? Okay, so they turn bright ass red, and then their skin start flaking off, and then they might get a little brown when they get that cancer, right? You get that little melanoma. Whoop, that's the only brown you're gonna see, and then they die. All right, that's what the sun does to them. But when the sun smiles on us, we get black and lovely. Ain't nobody else that's described. Sorry. Go ahead.
My mother's children were angry with me.
My mother's children were angry with me, right? All the other nations are angry with Israel. They're angry with our people. Go ahead.
They made me the keeper of the vineyards.
Right.
But mine own vineyard have I not kept.
So again, we gotta go into the depth of that in a whole other class right there. All right. Because again, this is just what we did with the first 5 scriptures. There was more scriptures we had to go to edify all of that. That's the whole chapter of Song of Solomon. So I'm gonna break it there, give you a little something to a little morsel, and make you hungry for the next class when we go ahead and we'll break that down. All right? And that'll be to be announced. We'll break down the whole Song of Solomon chapter 1 for you. But just so you know that Song of Solomon is a lot of prophecy about Christ. And it's not some weird porno freak show, sentiment that they like to try to make it out to be. I once had a pastor try to tell me that there was parts of that about Solomon going down on a woman, and they were writing that in the scriptures and everything. And I'm like, what the hell kind of pervert are you, man? Like, why would they write that in the scriptures when the scripture tells us we can't eat the meat with the blood? That don't make sense, right? So when you go to Song of Solomon chapter 7, there's a part where let's see, where is it at? The Song of Solomon chapter 7 verse 9.
Song of Solomon, chapter 7 and verse 9.
You can read that.
And the roof of thy mouth like the best wine for my beloved, that goeth down sweetly, causing the lips of those that are asleep to speak.
Okay, so when you read the scriptures, you know when they talk about people that are asleep, they talk about people that are dead. Good. And all of a sudden, this person is able to make the dead to speak again. Who is that?
Yahushua.
That was Yahushua. Yahushua caused the lips of the dead to rise back up. All right, this was a prophecy. I'm looking for this one specifically. I thought it was chapter 6. Where'd it go? Right, here we go. 5 verse 7.
Songs of Solomon chapter 5 verse 7.
This is how you know definitively that this is not talking about, Solomon was not talking about himself or some woman. This is how you know definitively that a woman was not writing this scripture. That this was about Christ. This was Solomon engaging in the love affair with wisdom and with Yahushua and the things he saw of Yahushua. How do we know definitively? Read verse 7. Read verse 7, right?
Yeah. Songs of Solomon chapter 5 verse 7. The watchmen that went about the city found me. They smote me.
They what?
They smote me.
What never happened to Solomon in his whole damn life?
They smote me.
The watchmen that went on the wall smote him. That didn't happen to Solomon. 40 years of peace. He didn't get beat down. He lived peaceful all his life. Most High gave him that because of the actions of his father David. He didn't even raise up the kings to go against him for his sins until after he was dead, and he raised them up against his kids. All right? So there were no watchers on the wall that smoked Solomon, but they did beat the hell out of Christ. They did beat the hell out of Yahushua, did they not? Okay. What else?
They wounded me.
They what?
They wounded me.
You never read about that happening in Chronicles, Kings, nothing about Solomon. Do you read about anybody hitting him, wounding him? Nothing. So this is not about Solomon. This is Solomon prophetically speaking and in the person of Yahushua. Right?
The keepers of the walls took away my veil from me.
They took away his garments. They took away his veil from him, his loveliness. The veil represents the loveliness of the woman. When you read about Christ, they took away his garments. They trying to strip him naked. And then they ended up casting lots, rolling dice over his garments. They took that away from him. They beat him up and marred his visage more than any man. They tried to take away his beauty. So they took away that veil from him. All right? And what's crazy is this thing is so deep. I was listening to the other day on the audio Bible, and I'm like, man, so many scriptures are popping into my head, I can't even keep up. I have to listen to this 3, 4, 5 more times because how deep Solomon's talking. And when you understand the scriptures, you understand every word. But you gotta like really just, it's like one of those deep movies where you're like, oh damn, I missed that. Hold on, let me go back. You know what I mean? It's a real deep scripture. It's a beautiful chapter, but we'll do that breakdown for you in depth. All right? Song of Solomon chapter 1. I like that. What else we got?
That was it for the questions online.
Okay. All right. So, do y'all have any questions in here?
Live, sir.
Okay, good. Let's go into, we're going to start with 2nd Esdras chapter 11. All right, so again, now if you have questions, save your questions for after class. Okay, is that next school?
Yeah.
Like a Zoom class.
Okay. Somebody skipped us over for some Zoom. I hate that, man. I was thinking about that. Brothers be going to the gym to get buff and look intimidating to defend their family and to defend a woman and keep her from getting raped, and you know what I mean, to basically be strong, right? Functionally, be able to lift car tires and change tires and do these type of functional things, right? But every damn workout video I ever see about women is them trying to build what?
Their butts.
Their butt. And what are they wearing? Are they wearing workout clothes, or what are they wearing?
Spandex.
Something you can buy in an egg, right? They wear some damn spandex that go all the way up into their tonsils, right? And you can see their clitoris and pubic hairs and everything outlined. You're like, what are you doing? You ain't working out for no. You working out so you can what? Tell niggas no? It's ridiculous, man. But that's the wickedness of this world, man. That's why the other class he brought out the other day, man, brothers, be going out their wits for a woman, man, because she's giving it all away. She's showing it all off. You know what I mean? Who don't want that? You lead a horse to water, he gonna get thirsty. Especially if you show them the whole damn trough. Let's see. 2nd Esdras chapter 11, man. Start at verse 1.
Second Esdras chapter 11 and verse 1.
And again, I hope you got your notes. I hope you got good note-taking skills. But it'll be recorded, so you'll have that.
Sir, we're going to do the chapter?
We are going to do chapter 11 and chapter 12.
Awesome.
Yeah. But let's demonstrate why. Jump down to verse. Start at verse 3.
Good.
But you know what? Start at 1.
Good. 2nd Esdras chapter 11 and verse 1.
And you'll see why we have to break this down, all right? Y'all got to understand why we do things called breakdowns. Because this stuff is not literal. All right? If you go by what the History Channel tells you about 2nd Esdras 11 or Revelations or Daniel's, you're going to get actual monsters crawling through your head, and you're going to be thinking you're going to be on the next what's that movie, Cloverfield or Godzilla going to be coming out trying to terrorize everybody in the last days. That's going to happen too. But a lot of this has nothing to do with that.
Good.
All right, so read that.
Good. Then saw I a dream, and behold.
So he's dreaming. This is a prophet dreaming. If you have a dream, nothing in there is what it seems, right?
Good.
1 minute, you know, your mom, you wake up, your mom's cooking you breakfast, she turned into a 3-headed unicorn, eats a demon right in front of you, jumps on a rainbow, rides it down the street to the barber shop, gets her head cut off by a clown. Like, what? It's a dream. You don't take everything literal in there, and if you had somebody that could interpret that for you, which we had back then, they might be able to show you. These are similitudes. This is something else. It means something else.
Good.
All right? So that right there should tell you in the first place, this is a dream that a prophet is having. That means the Most High has given him this. Go to Job. You know where? 33, right?
Yes, sir.
This is a dream that the Most High has given to Esdras, and he's trying to give him a similitude. He's trying to tell him things that are going to come to pass.
God. Job, chapter 33, verse 14.
Thank you for reading loud, brother. Thank you for reading. Very loud and powerful. Let's keep that going. Go ahead.
For God speaketh once, yea, twice, yet man perceiveth it not.
All right, real quick. Shalom, Dorothy. Shalom, Mikhail Yashala. Shalom, Megamoo 12. Shalom, Maisha Town. Shalom, Jeremiah Carrington. Shalom, Gabriel Harris. Shalom, Bait. All right. Shalom, Ronald Dawson. Shalom. All the same people all over again. All right. Shalom to all y'all, man.
Shalom.
All right. I like being interactive with the people that's watching, man, so they can know that we do acknowledge that you're out there watching us, and we appreciate it, man.
Okay.
We appreciate y'all thirsting for this wisdom and knowledge, all right? Well, let's read that again.
Job chapter 33, verse 14.
Uh-huh.
For God speaketh once.
The Most High speaks once.
Speaketh once.
Uh-huh.
Yea, twice.
And twice.
Yet man perceiveth it not.
But you don't get it. A lot of men don't get it. A lot of brothers and sisters don't get it.
Right.
You know, he'd be like showing you something. Don't mess with that woman. Right? I know her pants are tight. Don't mess with her. Right? Some bum off the street be like, don't do it. Me and the homies hit it. Like, wow, you the bum off the street. You know what I mean? Look, you want her address? I'll prove it to you. You know what I mean? They showing you, and you like, nah, but her pants really tight. Right?
Good.
You get the, hey, listen, don't put your money into that, man. Don't spend your money on that. Don't spend all your money in that. It's somebody you don't know. You know what I mean? Hey, yeah, I'm a financial advisor for so-and-so. You know, I just want to tell you, man, something told me to tell you, don't put your money there. I don't know what. I got to go. You know what I mean? And you like, oh, who the hell are you? All that pride kick up. Well, you don't know nothing. and you go bet it all on black. You know what I mean? What's worse, you in a damn back alley, ain't no black, you bet it all on nothing. Lost everything. Like, the Most High tried to tell you once and twice. He gave you the signs. Go ahead.
Verse 15. In a dream, in a vision
I'll
of...
speak once and twice, but man perceive it not. He don't get it. He said, now he speaks to you in a what?
In a dream.
In a dream. Go ahead.
In a vision of the
In
night.
a vision of the night. Go ahead.
When deep sleep falleth upon men.
Right, so this is what he's doing, is he's trying to speak to Esdras and give him the similitude of things that's going to happen. Go ahead. Why does he do this?
In slumberance upon the bed.
So he does this when you sleeping. Go ahead.
Then he openeth the ears of men.
He opens your what?
The ears of men.
Representing how you hear, right? He opens up your hearing. Because he spoke to you once, twice, and you didn't get it. So now you got to open up your hearing. You was hearing, but you didn't listen.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Oh, God.
Right? It's like I'm hearing this loud ass music next door, but I ain't listening to it. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just noise. Alright, so what's that? Oh, yeah. Well, so we got to understand that he opens up your understanding. He gets you to listen by a dream. Go ahead.
And sealeth their instruction.
And now what is he doing with Esdras in this chapter? He's sealing Esdras' instruction. Okay, read.
Verse 17. That he may withdraw man from his purpose.
So this way he can take man off his own purpose, crying about Israel. Esdras, love you Israel more than me. You read that in Esdras, right?
Okay.
Like, I gotta get you back over here. You still over here crying about the wicked. Israel wicked as hell. What you crying for? I'm killing them. That's what's gonna happen, right?
Okay.
Let me withdraw you off your purpose, Esdras, and let me show you what is going to happen. Y'all see that?
Okay.
Let me give you the instruction how you're going to conduct yourself and how you're going to conduct the people that will follow me. Because all Israel ain't following me. Read on.
And hide pride from man.
And that way I can hide that pride from you, man. You act like you love Israel more than I do. I'm whooping their ass for a reason. I got to correct them. That's what a father does. Go ahead.
He keepeth back his soul from the pit.
Yeah, I'm saying that because when you read the book of Esdras, Esdras is constantly going back and forth with this angel that's speaking for the Most High. And he's, please don't do this, and why you got to do this, and why does this have to happen? Because I wanted to. Because I got to correct my people. Calm down. Y'all see that? That angels constantly have to, hey man, what you trying to do? Ascend above the Most High? What's wrong with you? Know your role. He's constantly have to tell Esdras that. So this is what he's doing, is he's snatching that pride from Esdras and telling him in a dream so he can perceive and understand this is of the Most High. Go ahead.
And his life from perishing by the sword.
So he keeps his life from perishing by the sword. I'm trying to keep you from death, Esdras. You're about to proceed too far. You're about to go too far asking me all these questions. Y'all see that?
Good.
Go ahead.
Verse 19. He is chastened also with pain upon his
so
back.
let's sit on that. All right, let's go back. Back to 2 Esdras 11, verse 1.
2 Esdras chapter 11 and verse 1. Then saw I a dream, and behold, there came up from the sea an eagle, which had 12 feathered wings.
See that? What just happened?
An eagle, which had 12 feathered wings.
Eagles got way more than 12 wings. 12 feathers, you know what I mean?
Damn, I didn't think of it like that.
They got way more than 12 feathers. What the hell kind of eagle is this? And it came from where?
From out of the sea.
What the hell kind of eagle swims? I'm lost already. I need somebody to clear this up for me. Like the man in Acts said, how should I know this unless some man should teach me? You always got these niggas that want to go out there and be like, oh, I understand the script, man. I already know what that means. No, you don't. I guarantee you have no idea about no damn swimming eagle right now with 12 feathers. Where the hell you see that at? SeaWorld? The aquarium? Where you go? What they got down there? Yeah, the aquarium, right? A swimming eagle with 12 wings? 12 feathers, I mean? So let's break it down, right? Let's get the understanding. Whereby when you read, you may get the understanding, like it says in Ephesians, right?
Come.
Yeah. Read it again. Let's break it down.
Good. Behold, there came up from the sea an eagle, which had 12 feathered wings.
Okay, so if you have our Daniel 7 breakdown, which the sister's going to post onto there, so you can go right to the Daniel 7 breakdown when you got time. Yeah, that's another class we did. We broke down all Daniel 7. But if you got that Daniel 7 breakdown, you understand this is the same eagle that Daniel saw in his vision. So this is how you know it's of the Most High, because another prophet around the same time period is getting the same vision. All right?
Good.
Go ahead.
And 3 heads. And I saw, and behold.
So now I got this eagle came out of the sea. This swimming eagle came out of the sea. And he had 7 heads. Is that what it said?
No, 3 heads.
3 heads. This eagle had 3 heads, a 3-headed eagle with 12 feathers. It's the most awkward eagle on the planet. It's a toxic waste eagle.
Right.
The Simpsons eagle. Right?
Good.
3 heads and what?
And I saw, and behold, she spread her wings all over all the earth.
Okay, so this is the same eagle that's being represented in Daniel chapter 7. And when it says that this eagle spread her wings over all the earth, listen close. All right? This is talking about the so-called white man's kingdom, who we know as the wicked, or as the Bible calls them, Esau, the Edomite Empire. This is Esau's kingdom. It hadn't reached its full potential. It hadn't reached past the Mediterranean Sea yet. That's what I said about the world maps. If you know about the Mediterranean Sea, it's right in between there, between Africa and Europe. Israel's on the east side of it. Europe is on the north side. Africa's on the south side of it, and then you got the Atlantic Ocean on the west side of it, going toward America. All right. So if you got the map pulled up, you'll see the Mediterranean Sea. The Esau had not spread their empire beyond the Mediterranean Sea yet. They hadn't moved past Europe at this point. They hadn't moved past the Caucasus Mountains at this point. All right. But Esdras is getting the prophecy of this eagle, because when you look at all the Edomite empires, all the empires of the so-called white man, which they stole from the black Babylonians and the black Nimrod and all that, they took the symbol of the eagle from the Babylonians and the Assyrians, and they carried it on. All right, and they, as the Roman Empire, flew under the sign of the eagle. As the American Empire, they fly under the sign of the eagle. But at this time, this eagle had not reached past the Mediterranean. So there was no America at this time, is what you're getting. All right, so Esau's kingdom hadn't reached past the Mediterranean or to the Western Hemisphere yet. That's what you can write down. Esau's kingdom had not reached past the Mediterranean or to the Western Hemisphere yet. Like I said, it's going to be recorded, so I'm going to try to cram as much information into these 2 classes as possible, because Saturday we got the reading. So when it says that they spread their wings upon the whole earth, Esau's kingdom hadn't reached past the Mediterranean yet. They had not reached the Western Hemisphere yet. All right?
Done.
All right. Read it again, verse 3.
Verse 2.
No. Yeah, verse 2, I'm sorry.
Verse 2.
Yeah, read verse 2 again.
And I saw, and behold, she spread her wings over all the earth.
Now again, just like the brother said, a swimming eagle with 3 heads, that scared the hell out of him. That's the point, all right? Because how did he withdraw man out of his pride? He scared the hell out of him. He got him in a dream where a swimming eagle came out to sea with 3 heads and 12 feathers, looking gangly as hell, and was able to spread these gangly wings all over the whole earth. and reach into everything. What the hell does that mean? That make you, when you wake up from that, you like, why did I dream that? You know what I mean? When you have the one that I talked about with the mom turning into a unicorn and eating a clown or whatever the hell I was saying, right? You wake up like, what the hell am I on? Did I take drugs? Right? What did that mean? Because we going calling them Cleo and everything when you have them crazy ones, right? Like, what did that mean? Sisters be doing, I had a dream that somebody was going to have a baby. You know what I mean? Like, okay, was it just a dream? Or, you know what I mean? Sometimes it come to pass. You know what I mean? But we don't put that stock in the dreams, but it still make you wake up and think, what does that mean? Let me look into that. That's what the point was of this dream, was to make him look into it. What's that?
I was going to say, that give me chills because it brings up a scripture I read earlier this week when it said basically many prophets and kings desire to see what your eyes see, because I'm pretty sure when they saw these dreams, they knew it was from the Lord, but they didn't know what it actually represented or meant.
Oh, yeah, we're going to go into that. Look, when you read down here, this is the same dream he gave Daniel, remember?
God.
But he's going to tell you that Daniel didn't get to the interpretation of this part.
Wow.
So what you're going to get, you're going to be wiser than Daniel. All right?
That's crazy.
Read that. Read on.
And all the winds of the air blew on her.
All right, so all the winds of the air blew on her. All the regions now covered by Esau. So all regions of the earth are now covered by Esau. There's no place that the Edomite Empire, the so-called white man's empire, has not influenced and touched now. All right? If you can, pull up a map of the International Monetary Fund.
International Monetary Fund?
Yeah, you can even just put IMF and it'll give you the map. The International Monetary Fund. All right, and it will show you how Esau's reach. These are the same people that made Hitler the bad guy, made Muammar Gaddafi the bad guy, made Joseph Stalin the bad guy, made Hugo Chavez down there in Venezuela the bad guy. These are the guys that made Fidel Castro the bad guy, because these people control your central banking systems in every single continent of the planet. Every country of the planet, damn near. There's only a few that have resisted their influence, and they're owned by guess who?
So-called Jew.
Yeah, some vampire-looking so-called Jews that we know descended from the Edomite Empire. This is Esau's reach under the acronym IMF, International Monetary Fund. Check this out. You got it? You pulled it up? It's a map on there? Oh, let me see.
I'm not seeing a map. It's just showing pictures of it.
Yeah, no,
Or
there.
a map.
Or just put countries not under the International Monetary Fund. And then you go to images, it should pull that up. But these people now at this point, not at that point where Esdras was, but at this point in time, what Esdras was seeing in the future as all the air, what did it say? The air moved.
And all the winds of the air blew on her.
There, and all the winds of the air blew on this eagle. That meant it started touching everywhere. So after Esdras was getting to see into the future of not his time, where the Edomites had just crawled out of their caves and discovered, hey, look, water and fire and cooking stuff. You know what I mean? Actually, they didn't even discover that until like 13 something. But when they crawled out of their cave, Esdras was around at that time. And then when they started terrorizing us here and there, when they went up there and started living with not the Hittites, was it? I gotta go back on that. But when they started coming out of their caves, Esdras was around in that time. But when he was getting to see was the Roman Empire moving on into the American Empire and the British Empire. All the places that were going to fly under the symbol of the eagle that were under the so-called white man. All right? You get that map yet?
It has a map, but it doesn't exactly have the names. It just shows highlighted country areas on it.
Yeah,
Is that
that's
what
what I
you
want.
want? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's what we want to see. We want to see what do the International Monetary Fund own, man. Just so you understand the reach of the eagle, that the Bible is not playing a game with you. Is it there? Okay, I can't see it on here yet. There it is. All that green is where the eagle has landed. That is all the reach of the International Monetary Fund, governed by the so-called white man. All right, those light green areas are the only places that have resisted the International Monetary Fund. Muammar Gaddafi was one of them. He had his own gold-backed money system. He would give you like $50,000 for getting married, give you a whole scholarship just for wanting to go to college, pay your way through college, right? I had gold-backed money and everything like that. So, and he wouldn't allow homosexuality in his nation. So what did good old Barack Obama, the faggot, do? He went down there and he had him sodomized by the soldiers and killed. That way the International Monetary Fund could now take over Libya. All right, that's why Libya is probably green as hell on this map too. All right, same thing with Venezuela. Hugo Chavez was giving them the finger. All of a sudden he got a cancer that when you look around his time, 6 other dignitaries around the Central and South Americas got that exact same cancer, and they all coincidentally was giving America the finger saying, you ain't gonna get our resources. Well, I'll let y'all look into that. There's a lot of research out there, man. It ain't all Facebook knowledge, it ain't all YouTube knowledge, this is research. You find out that when you deal with Venezuela, they're sitting on more oil than Saudi Arabia. Yeah. Now all of a sudden they're a starving country. Isn't that coincidental? They're not starving, they got embargoes put on them, which means you can't bring food to them because America said if you bring food to them to help them out, we're gonna cut you off. And when they say that, they're like, okay, well, we ain't gonna help Venezuela. So now Venezuela can't get no food. And all the other nations have already drained Venezuela of their natural resources, trying to suck all the oil out through Trinidad, the little island that's right next to them. They frack the oil, go in the other way, and take their oil out from underground. And they take the oil that way instead of going into Venezuela and paying them for the oil rights. Then they've all of them gangstered all their their cocaine, their coffee beans, all the natural resources you're gonna get from a South American country. They don't rake the hell out of them. Ever since the time of the Tudors and the time of Henry VIII and all that, when Christopher Columbus, gay ass pervert little pedophile self, was sending ships, and that's the first thing they was doing was finding out, ooh, coffee, ooh, cocoa, ooh, potatoes. Look at all this stuff we can't grow because Germany has no natural resources. Because Europe has no natural resources growing out of it. Let's take their stuff in the name of Jesus. Right? Let's bring white Jesus over there and make them bow. And because they didn't bow to Jesus, now we have to kill them, rape their women, and steal everything they have. So we're going to kill, steal, and destroy from them in the name of Jesus? That ain't what Jesus said he does. He said the devil do that, right?
Good.
And they can't figure out why everybody called the devil. Let's get into it.
And we're gathered together.
Where we at?
2nd Esdras, chapter 11 and verse 4.
See, so
3.
verse 3, right?
Good.
So when you look at that chart of the International Monetary Fund, you see all the winds blew over this eagle, and they were all gathered together. That's the International Monetary Fund. They all gathered together into one people, man, these so-called white men. They own most of the world's wealth, all right? They own you, matter of fact, but I ain't gonna get into that either. Look up the truth about your birth certificate, though. A little morsel for you. Read verse 3. Let's go.
2nd Esdras, chapter 11 and verse 3.
Like I said, we're going to break down more of 11 and 12. 12 is going to give more clarification to 11. So we're just kind of breezing over 11. Go ahead.
And I beheld, and out of her feathers there grew another contrary feathers.
Okay.
And they became little feathers and small.
Right.
But her heads were at rest.
All right. So the heads were at rest. Like I said, if you listening to this, man, you like. So it had 12 feathers, and some more feathers grew out of it, and they was going the opposite direction of the other feathers. I don't get this. Why would the Most High send a spirit to make me dream this? What the hell is going on, right?
Good.
You need to know the interpretation. So, read it again.
Good. And I beheld, and out of her feathers there grew other contrary feathers.
Right, so he looked at this eagle, this gangly eagle with these long wings and 12 feathers, and he was looking, and these other feathers started growing out of these wings, but they was growing the opposite direction. They was going against the other feathers. Go ahead.
And they became little feathers.
And then they shrunk and turned into little feathers.
And small.
And tiny. Go ahead.
But her heads were at rest.
But the heads were asleep. So, wait a minute. The eagle fell asleep. All three heads fell asleep. This three-headed eagle just fell asleep, and these feathers grew out, but they was growing the opposite way, and they made the other feathers get small. They made the 12 feathers that was there get small. Go ahead.
The head in the midst was greater than the other.
All right, now keep in mind, back in the day, there was no scripture, there was no law, there was no commandment. There ain't nothing in the scriptures you're going to find where any brothers was smoking weed. All right? We was not on psychedelic, psychotropic drugs. So this is a dream. Remember that. That's why it seems crazy. It seems crazy as the dreams you have. Go ahead.
Yet rested
read it again.
Good. 2nd Esdras chapter 11 and verse 4.
Uh-huh.
But her heads were at rest. The head in the midst was greater than the other.
Right, so the one in the middle, the head in the middle was greater than the other two heads. Y'all hear me?
Good.
Let's see what that means. Yep. Yeah. I don't want this. I'm not going too far into an Esau class specifically, so that's why I'm not hitting all those. How they enlarge their border as hell and they are as death. I ain't going to all that, but you know the scriptures. You know what's in the Bible. All right, but what it's showing you right here, you got to read that one more time. It said that the three heads, and the one was at rest, right? The one in the middle was at rest, right? You read verse 4?
But her heads were at rest.
Uh-huh.
The head in the midst was greater than the other.
And the head in the middle was greater than the other. So we're going to break that down when we get into the chapter 12 breakdown, all right? But know this, that when it says that the heads were at rest, these nations were not active at the time of Esdras. So these represent nations, all right? These three nations, and it's giving you a little bit of a hint right there. There's three major nations that govern the International Monetary Fund. All right, they're like the heads of the International Monetary Fund, this eagle, right? These three heads were at rest. They were not active at the time of Esdras. Understand that. That's what that means, okay?
Good.
Go ahead.
Yet rested it with the residue.
All right, they rested with the residue. In the middle head, it was greater than the other two heads, but it still was asleep at this time. So there's three major nations, not at the time of Esdras, but at the time we're in now. So again, more of a hint. Go ahead.
Moreover, I beheld.
Where you at?
Verse 5.
Uh-huh.
And lo, the eagle flew with her feathers, and reigned upon earth, and over them that dwelt therein. And I saw that all things under heaven were subject unto her, and no man spake against her.
Right.
No, not one creature upon earth.
See, so when it's talking about the creature, it said no creature on earth spoke against this kingdom. All right?
Good.
This kingdom, couldn't nobody say nothing to him. Sound familiar?
Good.
I'm giving it away, right?
Yeah.
But the scriptures are giving it away. If you get your head out of your butt and you're not thinking that three-headed, half-bald eagle, whatever, is coming out to sea. They just got done swimming.
Good.
Right? The scriptures are giving it to you. This eagle, no other kingdom could speak against it. No creature on the earth could speak against it. That's what it's saying. So when it's talking about the creature represents man.
Good.
Got it.
The creature represents man. This kingdom had no opposition. It had nobody speaking against it. That's how you know it is not talking about Rome. Ancient Rome, everybody hated Rome. Everybody spoke against Rome. The Gauls was coming at them. The Visigoths was coming at them. The Egyptians hated them. They was fighting among each other. Right?
Good.
Everybody hated Rome. There wasn't an empire on earth that didn't try to get a piece out of Rome and try to weaken them and destroy them. All right?
Good.
So this is not talking about Rome. This eagle had no opposition. Ain't nobody touching them. I ain't messing with them, man. They'll set embargoes. We won't get no food. Y'all get it?
Good.
All right. Keep going.
In 2nd Esdras chapter 11 and verse 7. And I beheld, and lo, the eagle rose upon her talons.
All right, kids. Now, here's the thing. I'm skipping over a few scriptures, so some of y'all will be like, "Oh, hold on, break that down, break that down." No, I can't do that. We'll do that in chapter 12. All right, that comes later. All right,
Good.
same bat time, same bat channel.
See?
But we got some time. Go ahead.
And spake to her feathers, saying, watch not all at once. Sleep every one in his own place, and watch by course.
Right.
But let their heads be preserved for the last.
Where you at?
Verse 10.
Right. So it said, "Let the heads be what?
Preserved
Preserved
for the last.
for the last." So he's saying, don't all you feathers come rising up at once. Don't all you heads wake up at once. All right.
Good.
We're going to save all that for the last. It is referring to verse 7. Read verse 7 again.
Good. And I beheld, and lo, the eagle rose up upon her talons, and spake to her feathers, saying, watch not all at once.
See that? So this eagle, this nation rose up and said to the feathers, don't watch all at once. Don't all wake up at once. Don't all get up at once. Go ahead.
Sleep every one in his own place,
Take your time. Go ahead.
and watch by course.
Watch by courses. Go ahead.
But let their heads be preserved for the last.
Right. Go ahead.
And I beheld, and
So
lo.
that was verse 10?
Good. I'm at 10 now.
Okay, go ahead.
Verse 10. And I beheld, and lo, the voice went not out of her heads.
All right, remember, why didn't the voice come out of their heads?
3.
They're asleep.
They were asleep. Right? All the heads were asleep. All right, so the voice didn't come from the head. It didn't come from the governing body of the eagle. It didn't come from none of those three heads. They didn't give themselves command. There was a command being given to this eagle. Right? Read it again.
Good. 2nd Esdras chapter 11 and verse 10. And I beheld, and lo, the voice went not out of her heads, but from the midst of her body.
See, this voice came from the midst of her body. All right, and again, it's a little confusing if we don't break it down, which is going to happen in chapter 12. Go ahead.
And I numbered her contrary feathers,
Right?
and behold, there were 8 of them. And I looked.
So these are the contrary feathers. Where did we read about the contrary feathers?
Oh, in verse 3.
In verse 3, right?
Good.
So it's referring to, the scriptures, they interpret themselves for you. All right? But in a roundabout sense. It's showing you these are the same contrary feathers. Keep following along that we just read about in verse 3.
Good.
So read it again.
And I looked, and behold, oh, it's a lot. 2nd Esdras chapter 11 and verse 11.
Right.
And I numbered her contrary feathers, and behold, there were 8 of them.
Right. So it's showing you the number of these contrary feathers. Remember in verse 3, it didn't show you about how many contrary feathers there were.
Good.
But now he's telling you 8 feathers came from those 12 feathers, and they opposed those 12 feathers. Y'all get that?
Good.
All right. Well, you will. You'll get it more in depth, because now we're just looking at, we think about feathers, right? So, but we're going to remember all this is symbolic. All right. Where you at?
2nd Esdras chapter 11 and verse 12.
Right. So these, basically these new feathers that grew out from verse 3, they started to fight against the 12 feathers that were already there. And those feathers, those 12 feathers got small. So that's why it calls them contrary feathers. All right?
Good.
Read on.
And I looked, and behold, on the right side there arose one feather, and reigned over all the earth. And so it was, that when it reigned, the end of it came, and the place thereof appeared no more.
Right? Where you at?
Verse 13, last
Uh-huh.
precept. So the next following stood up, and reigned, and had a great time.
Right. So when it says that he reigned and he had a great time, it wasn't you had a party. All right? It wasn't you sitting around, of course they was doing that too. It was revelrous as hell. But it's talking about a long time. Basically a great amount of time. So this feather that rose up, he reigned for a great amount of time. This kingdom that rose up, these feathers are kingdoms. All right? It rose up and it reigned for a long amount of time, as opposed to the other feathers that came up with it. All right. Go ahead.
Verse 14. And it happened that when it rained, the end of it came also, like as the first, so that it appeared no more. Verse 15. There came there a voice unto it, and said, Hear thou that hast borne rule over the earth so long, this I say unto thee, before thou beginnest to appear no more, there shall none after thee attain unto thy time,
Right.
neither unto the half thereof.
Okay, what verse you at?
Verse 18.
So, what you're seeing now is this notification is being given to this feather, that one that had a great time. Before that second feather, before his time was up, right? This notification was being given to it that, listen, there's no other kingdom that's going to reign as long as you did. Not even halfway. All right? And we'll go into that, but that's talking about Octavian Caesar. All right, one of the rulers of Rome named Octavian, also known as Augustus Caesar, where you get the month of August named after. All right. So this voice was given notice that Octavian Caesar, Augustus Caesar, there was going to be no other kingdom that was coming up with him. That any of those men was going to reign as long as him. You understand? And we'll get more into that history. Like I said, in chapter 12, it'll start to click together better. All right? You got a question?
I was going to ask, I know you're going to go into it, but are these, I think you just answered it, though. You just answered it.
They're Caesars.
Yeah, they're Caesars, pretty much.
So this is during this is talking about, remember, this is talking about the Roman Empire and the rise of this eagle. All right? So we're looking at the eagle almost from the egg to the scrawny thing that came out the ocean with 3 heads.
Gotcha.
And spread all over the earth. the Most High has given Esdras him that eagle from the inception, all right, from the birth. That listen, this is how it's going to go down. This kingdom's going to come up. This guy's going to rule for a while. These other ones are going to come up with it, but they ain't going to rule as long. You see that?
Yes, sir.
Now, he didn't give it to him by name. Why?
It wasn't the time. Or it'd be too easy.
Well, if you're a Roman and you read a book prophesying about yourself when you take over, right?
Oh, yeah.
And your name is in there, and you see, damn, this thing is saying I'm wicked. And it's saying how I'm going to fall. And it's saying who's going to take me over. And it's saying what's going to happen after that. And then that, we don't win that either. What you going to do with that book?
Destroy it.
Yeah. Now, think of this. When white people come to our neighborhood, right? When white people listen to our music, don't it got to be broken down for them a lot of times?
Yeah.
Teach me how to Dougie. What is that? Right? What's some other ones? Give me some more.
You got all the trap music.
Yeah, every trap song, right? What do you need B12 for? Isn't that a vitamin? I don't get it. Like, just don't worry about it, Becky. Just go sit down, right? You gotta explain things to them. Like, listen, I'm gonna show you. All right, baking powder and B12 is what you put in the cocaine, and then you whip it around in the pot. You heat it up with some water a little bit, and then you cut it down. That's how you make crack. That stuff you smoke all day, right? You gotta break it down for them. Then they understand. Then when they listen to the rap lyrics, they, oh, okay, I get that now. And they think they understand music, right? Or like Champollion and E.A. Bunch went down there to the Egyptian pyramids and read the hieroglyphs, and they all of a sudden they were the only men on the earth that could decipher the hieroglyphs that was written by black people. And all they could decipher from it was, oh yeah, their gods used to suck on their own penises. Like that was the moral of the story? Really, bro? That's what you got from that? You know what I mean? And then you got all these Egyptologists, so-called Egyptologists that never been to Egypt, never studied Egypt in their damn life and can't read a hieroglyph. They all of a sudden know what the Egyptian hieroglyphs mean because some white man told them, right? But those people are misreading the hieroglyphs. Or let's do it even better. The whole damn Bible, right? This is clearly a black man's book.
That's right.
It's clearly a book written by black people. It said, I am black but comely. Right? I got jewels, I got rolls of gold in my teeth. Y'all don't do that. We do that. We got grills, man. Y'all don't do grills. Except Paul Wall. He don't count. I mean, he kind of counts because he's blacker than some of y'all, but he ain't us. Y'all see that? Y'all don't do that. This is stuff y'all specifically don't do. Y'all wasn't throwing gold dust in your hair. Y'all wasn't wearing fringes. We was wearing fringes all the way up to the 70s. Gap Band and all these brothers was out there, P-Town and P-Funk and all that. They was doing that with fringes all over their body. The Native Americans was doing that. White people wasn't doing that. Y'all was wearing bearskins and rats. The hell? That wasn't y'all. This is not your book. So when we're reading this, we're reading that this is something that if you ain't black, you might not understand it.
That's right.
When you read Deuteronomy 28, the 28th chapter, you really don't understand that unless you know about the black experience. You don't understand about coming over in slave ships unless you know about the black experience. You don't understand about going out down the street and your eye being evil towards your brother and his eye being evil towards you. Because that don't happen in white neighborhoods. You watch the Truman Show, right? Hey, if I don't see you, good afternoon, good morning, and good night. They don't do that. They don't come out the house like, nigga. Yeah, what, nigga? You know what I mean? When you leaving, nigga, so I can hit your rib. That's the black experience. That's the Mexican experience. You don't understand that until you know about them. Or you are them. Y'all see that? So when you're reading this book, if you ain't one of us, you might not understand it. We get it. We know. So when the Romans came and they saw this book, and they saw the book of Esdras, what do we do with this? This doesn't look canonical or holy. They're talking about a scrawny little 12 feathered bird with 3 heads. This is demonic. Get that out of here. Right? But when the prophets read it, we was like, oh, that's you wicked ass Romans. Yeah, that's not your little contrary friend. That's you going against you're opposing yourself. That's your democracy and your Republicans and you're this and you're that. We get it. We know white people. Y'all see that? But y'all don't understand how we write. So yeah, this does have to be broken down, especially since brothers and sisters, Israelites, so-called Negroes, West Indians, the Haitians, the Mexicans, you've been raised only knowing how to think white. A lot of us been raised not knowing how to think of the scriptures and how they talk. But we've been raised knowing how to think white. So what we do is, when we look at the scriptures, we thinking about the same thing. Some of this evil, man, this is weird. I'm skipping this. This evil tripping. Right? Good. Because we don't understand it. But when you understand history, when you research, when you go into anthropology, when you go into archaeology, when you go into your historical studies, you can see that this is all proven and factual. All right? And you'll understand these symbolisms. All right? Where we at?
2nd Esdras, chapter 11 and verse 18.
So I went there just to show you that, not to just diss white people, okay? I like to throw my shots. I do. But it wasn't for that. It was to show you this is why it was written this way. It was given as a dream because not everybody was going to understand that. Like he told Daniel, this book is going to be sealed until the time of the end. When you read in Isaiah, he said that the book is going to be like a book you give to somebody that's learned, and they say, I can't read it because it's sealed. And then they take the book and you give it to somebody that knows how to open the seal up, they say, I can't read it because I can't read it. I'm unlearned. Right? So this book wasn't written for everybody. Like David said, this shall be written for the generation to come that's going to serve the Most High. Only the ones that serving the Most High get this opened up to them, man.
That's right.
Just like a lot of y'all niggas now is like, huh? Some of y'all like Romans, and I don't care about that. Click. Let me go on to the dog playing the piano again, right? Let me go see what the cat doing with the snowball again. Let me go see what happened when they fed the dog macaroni and cheese again. Y'all go into all these other different videos or different doctrines, right? Oh, look, Polite made it over to Egypt finally. Let's watch that. But, oh, wait, no, sorry, he didn't do that. He got with a white woman and then he made his own cooking show from his own kitchen with his black rib and his black dog. Now I'm throwing shots. See, this is the stuff that our people want to go into, but when you start talking about history, it's like, I don't that demon get on them. But y'all gonna see, man, y'all gonna wish you stayed away from this class. Y'all gonna wish you stayed to take notes from this class, man. Read that.
2nd Esdras, chapter 11 and verse 18. Then arose the third and reigned.
Okay, so sorry about that. I want you to revert back to 15. We're going to read 15 through 18 again.
Then came there a voice unto it and said, Hear thou that hast borne rule over the earth so long. This I say unto thee, before thou beginnest to appear no more.
Right, so he's telling this one, you've been reigning for this long time. Before you fade out, hold on a minute. Go ahead.
There shall none after thee attain unto thy time.
Know this. None of the people after you are going to be having the same amount of reign of time you did. They're not going to reign for as long as you did. Now, you think if the Romans would have read that, they would have left that in the book? You think if the Romans would have read that, they wouldn't have seen it coming? They'd be like, oh, hell no. No, we got to find a way to put a stop to this. Let's go to the end and just kill those niggas. Right?
Good.
So he wrote it in poetic form, man. He wrote it in a vision. Go ahead.
Neither unto the half thereof.
So they ain't gonna reign even half the time you reign. Go ahead.
Then arose the third, and reigned as the other before.
So you're on verse 16?
18, sir.
18, okay. So this was that order was being given to that little feather, that second feather, which represented who?
Roman.
Octavius.
Specifically Octavius, right?
Or Caesar Augustus.
Or Augustus Caesar. Alright? Caesar just means king. So King Augustus or King Octavius. Alright?
Good.
So this notice was being given to him. You can also look up what's called the second triumvirate. Second triumvirate. TRIUMVIRATES. The second triumvirate. So this is how you know it's the second feather. They just called it when they called it in the different language, they said it was the second triumvirate, which is the second reigning body of three, tri. So it sounds like this three-headed eagle, right?
Good.
Sounds like it's related to this three-headed eagle. It's the second triumvirate, though. This is one of the feathers that was coming up under those three heads. All right? Oh, I thought you had your hand up. So y'all following so far, right?
Good.
Let me know. Verse 18, read that again.
Good. Then arose the third, and reigned as the other before.
So we talk about the feathers, the ones that came up contrary, right?
Good.
The first 12 feathers, they started getting small. They got tight. All right, because these 8 contrary feathers took them over. So we had the second feather, Octavian Caesar, Augustus Caesar. His time was fading out, and the notice was given, hey, listen, the next one, he ain't gonna reign as long as you, not even halfway. This was Tiberius Caesar. These are historical figures, you can look them up. They happen in succession, one after the other, just as this eagle's feathers are being produced in this scripture. All right? This is Tiberius Caesar. So the notice is now being talked, the voice is now speaking of Tiberius Caesar, who had a 23-year rule. All right, which was not even half the time that Augustus Caesar had ruled. And there's movies about these people, man. If y'all interested in the history and stuff like that, you can look and see that there are movies made about these people. They be like in the 30s and 40s when people was actually interested in actually learning things from movies. Instead of like, oh, look at dog, he's having sex with his neighbor. Right? Instead of you watching dumb crap like that, you know what I mean, and cartoons made into movies, you was watching stuff that was actually giving you some knowledge. Yeah, y'all see that? But you can look these movies up. They say, you know, if you got your Fire Stick jailbroken, right? You got all the info now. Screw y'all. Get it free. Right? You got your Fire Stick jailbroken. You got Cody, right? You're gonna go on Cody and you're gonna look up all these old movies, right? And look up movies about Tiberius and Titus and Augustus and Octavius, and look these names up. Go to your library. I know some of y'all been missing those, right? Go to your library. Jack the books, right? Nobody wants them anyway. Nobody using books anyway.
That's right.
If you don't believe me, watch your music videos. They ain't using books no more. You see no books in the music video. No books. Have you seen it? I ain't seen it. I ain't never seen Waka Flocka strolling through his library on a music video. Yeah, you'll never see him at Barnes & Noble getting his credit card out talking about tip drill. Nelly didn't do tip drill in the library. Or Barnes & Noble. He was sliding his credit card in girls' assholes. So, that's not being done. People ain't reading books. Go get them from your local library. You can look these people up. All right?
Question.
Yeah.
Can I get the 3 names again?
You got
So
So
far, the 3 names.
Well, there's only 2 names so far.
Oh, I thought we were gonna go to the 3rd one.
Augustus is Octavius. Remember that. Augustus Caesar is Octavius Caesar. It's just 2 different ways of calling him a name.
And he's the first one.
Yeah. Remember, a lot of them they named themselves after their gods. So like their real name would have been Octavius, but he's like Octavius. I don't want nobody knowing me by that name. I'm gonna call myself after the god of whatever, right? I forgot what August was about, but they would name themselves after gods because they thought there was gods on earth. So a lot of these rulers, you find out they got like 2, 3 different names.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? When you watch Gladiator, you see the Maximus, Decimus, Aurelius, Maximus. You know what I mean? Like, the hell, what are you, Mexican? Right?
God.
Well, you got all the names. Because they had different names for some of them where they was from, some of them who they was named after, some of them they was named after their father, but they wanted him with his mother's name in there, and they, you know, all kinds of weirdness. All right? Like today, right?
God.
You know damn sure that girl name ain't Peaches. You know what I mean? What's your name? Takesha LaWanda Peaches. Got it. Shut up. Right?
God.
Take the money. Right? What's that?
There's a question online.
Go ahead.
Kid Millie asks, is Imperial Rome a good book to read for Roman history?
Imperial Rome. Yeah, that's a great book to read for Roman history. And we got a few more we're going to mention. I wasn't able to get my hands on them. Some of them come in expensive volume sets, so I wasn't able to get my hands on them. I know Priest Kawakav in Guatemala will be able to break a lot of these Roman books down for you and be able to show you, because he actually has them. All right, he actually has them in his possession. So another guy got robbed. Nah. But Imperial Rome, great book to read. Great book to read about ancient Rome. But again, looking up these specific names is going to help you even better. Not on Wikipedia. The older your books are, the better. Wikipedia is whitewashed. All right? Wikipedia and Google are whitewashed as hell. They're going to tell you all the... Just try looking up slavery on Wikipedia or Google. You're going to get all the whitewashing that they can do on what happened with slavery. You're going to get all the white... You type in Jesus Christ. Look at all the pictures, and you ain't going to see one black Jesus. Right? Unless they talk about the show, Black Jesus.
I was going to say, there's an app called Oodles. It's like a free ebook app.
Mm-hmm.
And they have like a whole, I think like 12 volumes of the rise and fall of the Roman Empire, and it goes into all of the Caesars. So I'll be at work sometimes, I just play it, in my ear.
That's one of the ones I was trying to get for tonight, because I needed that book for tonight. I think it was, the decline, the rise and decline
of the Roman Empire.
It is, yeah.
It's
I was trying to get that for class tonight.
It's free on this app. I got it.
On the PDF?
Yeah, it's called Oodles. It's an ebook app called Oodles.
If you could pull it up, I need page 98 out of that.
Well, which volume though? That's the only tricky part.
It's probably volume 1.
Okay.
Probably volume 1. Just let me know what he say when you get there, but
Got it.
I think that's what I need right. That's funny because it's right in here. But that's for chapter 12 anyway. Where we at?
2nd Esdras, chapter 18 and last precept.
Oh, sorry. I didn't get the second one. It was Augustus and Octavius.
Right, Octavius and Augustus, those are the same people. That's the same person. And then next was Tiberius. So Augustus was the second feather. Tiberius was the third feather. So he was giving notice to the second feather. Your time, nobody else is going to be able to touch that. Nobody else is going to hit and reign as long as you did. The next man coming, before you fade out, the next man coming, he ain't going to reign as long as you, not even halfway. All right? But this next feather, that third feather, is referring to Tiberius, or Tiberius Caesar. And this is referring to Tiberius' 23-year rule. All right, so when you're reading that, sorry for the hand signals, I'm not Illuminati. I don't get paid enough to be Illuminati. So if you see hand signals, that's not what that is. All right. Where we at?
2nd Esdras, chapter 18, last precept. And appeared no more also.
Right, so he appeared no more also. So you think it was Tiberius would have read that, he would, okay, if I even get up in the office, I'm dead. I got about 23 good years. I'm out of there. He didn't get to read this. He didn't get to understand this. All right? Go ahead.
2nd Esdras chapter 11 and verse 19.
Mm-hmm.
So went it with all the residue, one after another, as that every one reigned.
So he's talking about, so went it with all the residue, all the rest of those feathers, those 8 feathers. You had the first one, I'm going to divulge that later. The second one was Octavius or Augustus Caesar. The third one was Tiberius Caesar, right? And then the other 5 feathers that come up after, they came up and dropped off one right after the other, but none of them ruled as long as that second feather. You understand? Go ahead. So that those feathers, you're getting that much at least. You're getting to know that those feathers represent rulers of Rome, Caesars of Rome. Okay? All right. Everybody with me? All right, go ahead.
And then appeared no more. Verse 20. Then I beheld, and lo, in process of time, the feathers that followed stood up upon the right side, that they might rule also.
What verse you at?
Verse 20.
Go ahead.
And some of them ruled, but within a while they appeared no more.
Let's see. So some of them came up. Some of these other rulers came up. Some of these other mighty men came up. Mighty rich men and mighty corrupt men came up and killed their way into power and poisoned their way up into power. And they came up and they ruled for a little while and they fell off. They got killed. They got murdered by their own people. Some of them by their own guards, by their own sons. Right? Good. Because they had to copy Israel.
That's right.
We did it first, just so y'all know. Patricide and all that was Israelite custom, man. Kings was over there killing their own fathers and burning their houses to the ground. So, he said, I got to copy that. Can't be exclusive. Can't make up their own stuff. Where you at?
2nd Esdras chapter 11 and verse 21.
Uh-huh.
For some of them were set up, but ruled not.
See, some of them they just had a lot of power, but they didn't actually rule. So that's why I called it they was little feathers. It was not heads, they were just feathers. It was there for a little bit and then gone. Go ahead.
After this, I looked, and behold, the 12 feathers appeared no more, nor the 2 little feathers. And there was no more upon the eagle's body.
Let me know when you get to 29.
But 3 heads that rested, and 6 little wings. Then saw I also that 2 little feathers made under the head that was upon the right side. For the 4 continued in their place. And I beheld, and lo, the feathers that were under the wing thought to set up themselves, and to have the rule. And I beheld, and lo, there was one set up, but shortly it appeared no more. And the second was sooner away than the first. And I beheld, and lo, that the two that remained thought also in themselves to reign. Verse 29. And when they so thought, behold, there awakened one of the heads that were at rest.
So knowing these are the Roman empires, right? That these are Edomite empires, you can kind of get a grasp. If you already know history, you can get a grasp of what's going on. All right. After we give up a couple of names, Octavius and Tiberius, things like that, you knowing that, okay, these are the succession of Roman emperors. These are the succession of Edomite empires, so-called white empires that were in Europe at this time. All right. Now, what you're reading about is how all these, this was European colonial empires, and then going into the Moorish rule, what they call the Moors ruling over there, right? The Moors, when you go historically, if you go back more than just trying to get your sovereignty, you find out that the Moors were not Africans.
That's right.
Moors were there was another name to say black. Now, what people on the earth was given a proverb and a byword as a name instead of their nationality?
Israel.
There you go. So what were the Moors?
Israelites.
Okay? So when you got somebody named Maurice, they come from somebody black, Moorish, Morissette, all these things that have that beginning of that word Moor usually comes from just the word black. That's all it meant. You understand? It didn't have to do with no damn whatever these cats are doing, wearing their little Indian turban with the stupid star in the middle of their head. That's pagan sun god worship, pagan moon god worship, pagan Venus worship. You're out of your damn mind. That's not a Moor. A Moor was just a Jew. That's just what they called us over there. That was our proverb and our byword in Europe. When you watching the original, the good Robin Hood, the one with Kevin Costner back in the day, right? And Morgan Freeman pops up. What is his nationality? He's a Moor, right? Somehow that didn't click to Hollywood too much, because every time they represent Moors after that, they put him as white. That's right. That didn't click to our people. Hey, Moors, which could fight better than Kevin Costner on Robin Hood, was black. We got a little national identity just in that, but we missed that. The only time we want to call ourselves Moors now, we want to try to gain so-called sovereignty and chunk off a piece of America like the white man really gonna give you some of that. Come on, man. They raped people to get the country. Nick, these white people, men, raped men to get this country. You think you gonna get it back with a piece of paper? You out of your goddamn mind. I'm gonna get my sovereignty. I'm gonna take back what's mine. No, you're not. They took it at gunpoint and penis point. They raped and killed to get this. They're not giving it back because you gave them a piece of paper. If y'all don't know, you saw Gladiator. You want to talk about ancient Rome? Or not? Was it Gladiator? She did it, I think. No, Gladiator. Yeah, the son did it, right?
Yep.
The dude told him, "You're gonna be the emperor," and he killed the father and was like, "No, I'm emperor now." Right? If you watching Game of Thrones, what the white chick do? Oh, Ned, you're supposed to have the claim to the throne, right? I don't know if y'all watch Game of Thrones, right? Yeah. But yeah, Ned, you're supposed to have the claim to the throne, right? Oh, it's on that little piece of paper. Let me see that. Oh, get the fuck out of here, bro. Excuse my French, but that's how she did it. They don't care about paper. They don't care about their own constitution. They use that as toilet paper every damn day. You think you're going to get it back through paperwork. It's all good, though. I once thought that way, too, but it's all good. Where are we at?
2nd Esdras, chapter 29. Chapter 11,
so what we just learned about was, we talked about the European colonial empire, right? And how that was starting to fade out into what was called the Moor Empire, the Moorish rule. Talked about, broke the mic. Next. All right. Where are we at?
2nd Esdras, chapter 11 and verse 29.
Let's go.
And when they so thought, behold, there awakened one of the heads that were at rest.
So one thing we got to do, we kind of slipped over. I slipped over 24. All right. I want you to read 24 one more time.
Good. Then saw I also that 2 little feathers divided themselves.
Stop. Read 29. Then we'll jump back to 24.
Good. And when they so thought, behold, there awakened one of the heads that were at rest.
See, so when they thought everything was calm, one of the heads woke up. One of these, remember the 3 equal heads. Let's not get lost. 3 equal heads, they would sleep, right?
Good.
One of them woke up. All right? So, we talk about when, after, Okay, this now we're gonna go back into 24. Let's read that.
Then saw I also that two little feathers divided themselves from the six, and remained under the head that was upon the right side, for the four continued in their place.
Okay, so you can write this down. You might not understand it yet. Bear with me. All right. Don't get upset. All right. A lot of this you won't understand yet until we get into 12. Remember, we're breezing over 11, and then we're going to explain in more detail with 12. All right. Chapter 12 explains 11. Write this down. 10 provinces of Rome. This is under the explanation of verse 24. 10 provinces of Rome from Renaissance to World War II. 10 of the provinces of Rome from the Renaissance period to World War II. So you talk about the 1400s, 1300s, 1400s to World War II. Let me know when y'all got that.
Got it.
10 provinces of Rome from the Renaissance to World War II.
Good.
Like I said, you'll understand this more in depth when we get into chapter 12. We'll come back to it and you'll be like, oh, that's what that was about. Then 8, this is another statement. So you put a period after that. The 8 contrary feathers are the 8 post-Renaissance European colonial empires. So 10 provinces of Rome from the Renaissance to World War II. The 8 contrary feathers are the 8 post-Renaissance European colonial empires.
So the 8 post-Renaissance?
Yeah. So after the Renaissance period, that's what post-Renaissance means. Pre-Renaissance would be before, post-Renaissance would be after. So these are post-Renaissance colonial empires. And these all fought for expansion amongst each other. That's why they call them contrary feathers. They wasn't just contrary to the 12, they was contrary to each other. They was going against each other. Now, I'm not giving you these 8 nations in order, so just bear with me. You're going to write the dates, and you can put them in order yourself if you'd like to. The first empire, y'all got that, what I said already? So the 8 contrary feathers are the 8 post-Renaissance European colonial empires. Okay? Not in order. We started with 1 is the Austro-Hungarian Empire. The Austro-Hungarian Empire. We're not talking about Australia, we're talking about Austria. Austria is a real place. It's not a magical fantasy land that they wrote about in a book somewhere. This is a real place that you can look up in history. It is a real place on a map right now. Alright? Ain't Arnold Schwarzenegger from there?
I believe so.
Right. So the Austro/Hungarian Empire. Hungary is a place on the map. It's not a condition when you have no food. Hungary is on the map. It's in Europe. You can look these places up.
Turkey, I
believe. All right. So the Austro-Hungarian Empire was in power from 1867 The Austro-Hungarian Empire was in power from 1867 to 1918.
1867?
1867 to 1918.
That's the empire that I forgot her name, but they poisoned them.
Ferdinand or what?
Yeah, it's on the tip of my tongue. I can't remember the names.
Yeah.
They actually poisoned the rightful whatever ruler of the empire. I can't remember the names right now.
Yeah. But like I said, these are all things you can look up. You can research it. You can go into the history of it and watch movies about it. Some of these people, you hear about these famous people, Rasputin. You hear about Nostradamus. You hear about these famous so-called astrologers. What's the other guy? Galileo. Plato. All these different things. When you look these people up, they actually were floating around with a lot of these places and peoples. All right, Plato was a little further ahead, back in the Greek time. But you can find out that, like, dang, well, what was going on around World War I? Oh, that was around when Rasputin was around, the crazy mad Russian monk that used to give people prophecies and tell them how they was going to die and everything. And they tried to kill him 7 different times, and they finally killed him in the last way, they think. Yeah, stuff you got to read about. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And, you watch movies like Anastasia. It's not just a Disney movie.
That was her name.
Those things happen.
Anastasia. Yeah, Anastasia, and that was Anastasia's. I believe her husband was poisoned.
Right.
Yeah, it was that was her name. You just said it. I can't remember the guy's name.
Right.
Anastasia was his wife or whatever, and they poisoned both of them. One of them didn't die though after being poisoned, so they stabbed him. I think that was her actual husband.
You crisscrossing that, I think, because that's Rasputin that I was talking about. He got poisoned and stabbed and shot.
That I might be crisscrossed. I haven't been into it in a long time.
Yeah, me too. That's why I said I didn't want to give it all out because I mix them up sometimes.
Done.
There's a lot of names and dates and all that. So what I'm giving you is that. Do the research. Do the research, man. So the second one. So we got the first one was the Austro-Hungarian Empire from 1867 to 1919, right? 1918, excuse me. The next one is the German Empire, which went from 1883 to 1919. Now remember, some of these that you're going to be like, wait a minute, those are at the same time. Yes, they were different nations. They just fought amongst each other because they was trying to expand their own nation. So they all had rulership of Europe, of different parts of Europe. Remember, Europe's a continent. These are countries in the continent. All right? So, you show them a globe or something like that. I'm doing that because a lot of, some of our people, they educated beyond belief, and some of our people just ain't really have that book smarts. And that's cool. You know what I mean? You probably got more street smarts than book smarts. That's good. All right? But either way, you're going to get this knowledge. So you're going to see on the map where these places are, and when a lot of this stuff, when you see it on the map, it's going to start to click. It's going to make more sense.
Can you read the dates one more time?
So we got the German Empire came up in 1883 to 1919. So again, for y'all online joining us, hopefully y'all, if y'all staying on here, getting a lot of meat in this class. It was a good class that Kawakabi dropped to me a long time ago. The brother Kawakabi from Guatemala dropped to me a long time ago, man, years ago. And it blew my damn mind. It made me understand all the scriptures a whole different way, man. And it really just threw me into the future. You know what I mean? It was like a mind blower. So, I wanted to give this out because we've been doing a lot of spiritual classes. People been getting their feelings hurt, a little butt wrinkled, and then they don't want to come back because we've been talking about, you can't be sleeping with everyone you see, and you weak, and, stuff like that. So, which is not a bad thing. We need it. But I'm giving y'all knowledge classes too. That way y'all can hang around people that like some people like, oh, that's deep. And you can impress them. Well, actually, it's more for yourself, man. So you know where you come from. This is the history of you. This is what's being written about in your book. So you got to know what your book is talking about. So if you look at there on the map, what are we looking at, man? We got Russia way over there on the right. Was that India over there? Oh, I'm tripping.
Austria-Hungary's right under it, and then Germany's right there.
Gotcha, okay. So you should be able to see If you got better eyes than me, you can see all those countries that we talking about. Austria, Hungary, Germany should be a little further left
It kind of is.
to the west. But you see France is in there. What is that? Italy. All right. So you're gonna be seeing these. The first one we went to was the Austro-Hungarian Empire, 1867 to 1918. Second one was the German Empire, which is what?
1883 to 1919.
Perfect. Third one is the Italian Empire, which is down there. It's right there, right?
In Italy, right?
Yeah, Italy. Italian Empire. And that comes up at 1889. All right, that's 1889 to 1943. And we're not talking about these nations are gone now. So when we say that, it's not like a birth and death date. All right? What you got to understand is those are the times where these people were at war with each other and struggling to establish themselves in their territories and nations. So when you get to about these times is when they were established, like, this is mine, this is my border. You don't come over here. You see that?
So Joseph Stalin would have been the end of the Italian Empire, basically.
No, because Italy's still around. That's what I'm saying. It's not a birth and death date. But Joseph Stalin would have been in the time where they were struggling to gain their empire, to gain that this is mine. Actually, wait, Joseph Stalin was around World War II, right? 1930s and all that?
World War II.
And we're looking at the Italian Empire. Yeah, 1943, and I would have covered that. Because they bombed Pearl Harbor in 1944. And World War II had already kicked off for a few years. Right? So, when you're looking at that, you're looking at Joseph Stalin would have been in there trying to establish his Italian empire. Alright? So these are not birth and death dates. It doesn't mean that, oh, well, so these ain't on the map no more. No, they're still on the map. Alright? But they're now established. It took them that long to establish their countries. Alright, everybody with me? Alright. The fourth one is the French, which is on there too. It's on that map too, right?
Correct.
The French Empire comes from 1804 to 1960. 1804 to 1960. See, if you're looking at these dates, a lot of this is World War II ending. World War II, people getting the hell bombed out of them and saying, okay, well, we're going to just stick right here. And that'll be the end of all our little struggles. America done bombed us into place. We see what they can do. We see what these... I ain't going to get that way. We'll give that away in the next class, not what I was going to go into. But we're going to see what these guys can do. There's a superpower. So we're going to leave all that strife alone, man. Because now, when you go to all those countries, who do they hate? Are they fighting with each other as much? Who they fighting with? Who they hate?
America.
But it be low-key, right? Yeah, y'all can come over here for Cannes Film Festival. You can come over here for the fashion thing. You know what I mean? You can come over here for the art. You can come over here and eat some spaghetti. But we don't like y'all niggas. You know what I mean? You go to France, they be like, in America. They say it like they just took a dump and they looked at what it looked like. You know what I mean? And that's you. They don't treat us with respect when you go over there. They don't treat us like they like you. But what do they do? Okay, we'll tolerate you. Y'all see that? And so that's how the thing is. They're not trying to expand their territories no more. France isn't trying to like invade England anymore, or England trying to invade Scotland anymore, right? They all just hate America. As soon as they got the opportunity, as soon as they could get the opportunity, they would kill every last one of us if they could. Y'all see that? If you go over there, if you ain't known, they probably try to put you in a ditch sure as hell, man. You know what I mean? That stuff you watching on Hostel and stuff like that, they probably doing that stuff. I done met people that came back from over there. Yeah, they don't. Some of them, they like, yeah, I went to Germany, they love black people over there. Some of them, they go to France, they hate us over there. And then some of them is just, it ain't black or white, it's, you're American. We hate you, period. Get out of here. You know what I mean? You come to the restaurant, they start reading off in French. Ah, yes, we had the escargot with us. And then you like, can you say that in English, please? American. Right? like, I'm disgusted with you. Why don't you learn French, you immigrant? You know what I mean? Why don't you learn how to speak French? They treat you like we treat Mexicans over here, man. What's that?
I lived in Germany and I went to France, and the French people, they are to everybody. Like if you don't speak their language, they don't want to have nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
So they understand English, but they gonna act like they don't understand it.
Shoot, my French teacher in high school was so Frenchized, I guess you call it. He was American and was coming over here treating Americans like they was crap.
Yeah.
Like, if you came to his class, and I know that a lot of teachers do this, like you can't speak, you know, you have to speak what they're speaking. Like they only play movies in French and all this stuff, but this dude would act disgusted with you like he was French. You know what I mean? You'd be like, sir, can I get my home? What? Quoi? You know what I mean? You get all butthurt because you start speaking English. You like, nigga, I know you're from Chicago. Stop doing that to me. But he got Frenchized. They infiltrated his brain. This dude hated America, man.
Yeah. So they with everybody.
Yeah.
Because when we went with my school, went for a trip to France, and we speak either German or some of them broke English. So nobody speak French. So
right.
It's like we was trying to talk to them, but it was like, no, we don't understand you. It's not even that they don't understand us. It's like we don't want to understand you. Like,
Yeah, they know damn well they understand it because they do English is like a second language in almost every European country.
Yeah.
But they'll still hit you. Quoi? Je ne parle for American. You know what I mean? They still say it. Even in French, they say it like they took a dump on you. You know what I mean? Like, what's wrong with you, man? I just wanted to eat some French food, man. What's wrong with you? You know what I mean? Because to them, we're just uncultured, illiterate, non-educated garbage. Y'all see that? But then why are they still in league with us? Why do they still call on us for wars and things like that? Because they're tolerating us for a time, man. When Christ raised up the Arabians to blow up America, when he raised up the Moabites and raised up all these nations to destroy America, the French gonna be over there like, ooh, they're gonna be happy as hell, man. The scriptures tell you that. In Revelation, they tell you all those that was confederate with them, they're gonna be sitting there like, first they're gonna be upset because that's when they was getting their stuff, right? It was the merchants. They were selling us their wares, right? But then they're going to be so happy because we don't have America ain't going to have no wicked rule over them. There ain't going to be no America running over there telling the poor Arabian girls, oh, take off your hijab and pull your breasts out. Like, why? We haven't done that for 3,000 years. Why do we need to do that? Because we do it. There ain't going to be no Americans going over to Japan telling them, oh, yeah, take off your nice $1 million silk kimono and put on these booty shorts. $3 at Forever 21. You know what I mean? They ain't gonna be none of that no more. They're gonna get to dress how they dressed. They're gonna get to act like how they acted and then be under our laws, righteous laws. Y'all see that? So all that's gonna be done away with, man. But let me at least get chapter 11 out of the way. Oh, we got another hour, so we can get it 11.
We're at after the French.
Oh, he said we need to go to school in Galveston. Yeah. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Listen, get it started, man. Get the flyers going out. Get us down there. Get us a place to, get us a building or something like that. We will happily Go down there, start a teaching class, set up shop, man. We do that. We need to see the dedication. And we with you, man. We want to teach His word everywhere, man. My boots been in different nations already, man. In Honduras and Trinidad. And we've been different places trying to set things up, man. If you dedicate it, if you build it, we will come. That's how it is. All right? Joseph Stalin was Russians. Who am I thinking about? Not Stalin. But yeah, but Stalin was Italy.
Stalin was in Italy. He wasn't Russian. That's what I was thinking too.
That was Italy. Yeah, you got me tripping. Stalin was. No. El Duce. Who's El Duce?
He
That
was.
was
He
Italy.
was Soviet.
That was Joseph Stalin, right? See, now you got me twisted up, man.
He was a dude.
Yeah, he was Soviet Union. Joseph Stalin. Soviet Union was Russian.
Ah, that is a different name. Who's the
He
different
wasn't
name?
Stalin. It was Mussolini.
Mussolini.
Yeah,
Damn.
Mussolini. I'm
There
sure.
it is. I knew it sounded like some kind of pasta.
Con.
Mussolini. There it is. El Duce. You're right. Appreciate that. Who's that? Ronald Dawson. Appreciate that, man. Yeah, Joseph Stalin was Russia,
Russia. Yeah.
and Mussolini was the one that was
Italy.
dealing with Italy during World War II.
Yeah,
He was the one that allied himself up with Hitler and Joseph Stalin.
Con.
What was that? Somebody says something?
Oh no, I was saying Benito Mussolini.
Benito Mussolini. There you go. All right, again, like I said, it's a lot of people that are dead now, and you gotta kind of remember them to plug them in. What verse we at?
We was on the fifth feather because we ended with the French Empire.
Oh, right. Now this is explained in verse 24, so remember that too. Now we're going to the fifth feather, which is the Belgian Empire, where you get your fancy waffles from. All right. See, you got to explain some of these things so people be like, oh yeah, Belgium, I know about them. And you don't know about Belgium, you know about waffles. You don't know about France, you know about French fries. And that's not French. Or escargot, that's about as French as you get. French kissing and French toast. You know what I mean? We got to expand our culture and our learning and research these other places that are outside of just where we grew up. Because this is how Esau has been pulling the wool over our eyes, man. This is how the scripture's been going over our heads. Because we don't know about these places. You know, they don't want to teach us in depth about these places in school. And so we don't learn about these places. We don't know about how they represent these things in the scriptures. But if you know about these places, if you know about your world history, and you've been looking up on current events in the news and things like that, especially during the 80s and 90s when they actually would put the nations and what they were about on the news instead of telling you what Kim Kardashian injected where, then you would know something about these other nations. Now you don't get education through TV. All right? So we got the Belgian Empire, 1901 to 1962. Yeah, so I do take that back. Joseph Stalin was over the Russians and Benito Mussolini was over the Italians. So the Belgian Empire was 1901 to 1962. Again, these are the times they was expanding their empires. Number 6. Y'all got 5? Number 6 is the Dutch Empire. 1581 to 1975. That's how long it took the Dutch to expand their empire. 1581 to 1975. Slow ass Dutch. Alright. 1581 to 1975 for the Dutch Empire. Number 7, the Spanish Empire, 1402 to 1975. (1402) to 1975 for the Spanish Empire, which would be Spain, not a bunch of Mexicans expanding their empire. Not people that speak Spanish, but the actual place that Spanish came from. All right? I'm not trying to treat nobody like they're stupid. Again, a lot of our people, we didn't really care for the book learning part. A lot of us fell asleep during social studies class and geography class and all that. It was boring as hell. I barely stayed awake for it. All right? But now that I'm in the truth, a lot of this stuff is clicking. It's coming back into play. The Spirit brings all the things back to your remembrance. And it starts to make sense for you now. So now for some of y'all, this is an introduction into world geography and world politics and all that, which is cool. You need to know about that to be a well-rounded Israelite. We weren't just warriors. Well, we was warriors, poets, musicians, authors. We was all that, man. Lovers, fighters, killers, assassins. You know what I mean? We took over nations, and then we cooked for brothers and washed their feet. We killed men with our bare hands, and then we went and made love to 1,000 women and wrote poetry. That's talent, right? We made great monolithic architecture, and we took care of sheep. Studied ants. Y'all see that? This is your culture. We did everything. We were the literal Renaissance men. We were the jack of all trades. We knew how to do every damn thing. You understand? We was the Jamaicans of back then. All right. Where we at? We did the Spanish, right? And the last one, the eighth feather, the eighth contrary feather, is the Portuguese. The Portuguese, where you get the language Portuguese from. Not Brazilians, they speak Portuguese, but the actual place, Portugal. All right, Portugal by Spain or in Spain, their empire went from 1415 to 1999. That's how long it took to get them established. Everybody got it? Portuguese was 1415 to 1999. All right, so once again, this is not, you're not looking at them like birth and death dates. These people are gone now. No. That's how long it took to establish their empire, and that's why they're the countries they are today. All right? Because over this period of history, they was raping, robbing, murdering, smallpoxing, injecting, poisoning, whatever they could do to get their empire. And all of these places was ruled by black people at one time. So your original Germans was black. Your original French, Italians, all that was black. All right? Even before we Jews got there, ruled under the Moor Empire, it was ran by black people. You had the people of Javan, and which is what you read about in the Bible, right? Javan and Japhet and their ancestry. Those are black people that ruled all of Europe. They was just pagan as hell. So when we came and enlightened them and gave them a little culture, and some of them was, coming out of doing cave stuff and everything like that, and we brought them civilization. And then when the white men, when we came and started conquering them, they was like, we ain't having this. Right? We want our birthright back. So they grouped together. All these little feathers, they started grouping together, and they took over. All right, so I'm jumping around a little bit. I don't want to jump too much and confuse everybody. But that's that time of Septimius Severus. He took over what's known as the Dark Ages of Europe. It was called the Dark Ages, not because pale people ruled it, but because we ruled it. That's it. We ran y'all. All right, we ran this.
That's why when they teach us our history in school, they don't want to go past the 1600s. They just want to make you think that you was just a peasant, slave.
Yeah, they act like the Dark Ages was like, it was just an age of low technology.
That's completely, it's dumb if you think about it, because right now, America has, I believe it's a C- or a D- rating in infrastructure across the world. But yes, you get these castles that were built in the Dark Ages, because every 7 years or so they have to do maintenance on these big buildings downtown, on these bridges. Otherwise, like 4 years ago, a bridge off of I-10 headed towards San Antonio collapsed.
Bro, I live in a $250,000 house and accidentally punched a hole in the wall.
But then you got these castles that have been up since the quote-unquote Dark Ages, because I remember in history they taught us that the Dark Ages meant that there was a lack of intellectual like soundness, or like a lack of intellectuality in Europe at the time.
Right.
It makes no sense because these castles are still standing right now without little to any maintenance.
Yeah, and punch a wall over there.
You can't.
Just break your whole hand open. Right? It's all stone. It's all, you know what I mean? You got the rich, they go and ship the castles over here sometimes. They ship them over brick by brick, stone by stone, and try to have them rebuilt. Why? Because they can't do what they were doing back then. That was our culture. When you go into their paintings before the so-called Renaissance, when they painted over everything, you got us being in them castles, man. You got dark people shooting white people with arrows out of murder holes in them castles, trying to keep their European asses out of our house. Yeah. You can find all that stuff online too. You know what I mean? High Priest Shire was showing us that all that when we went to New York a few years ago. But we ran this. When they came and invaded us, they came and coughed on us and here's some bubonic plague. Kill half of Europe, 2/3 of Europe. Y'all see that? They started doing all that. They fought with that German warfare, man. You didn't even hear about Germans until they started coming into power. Because they didn't bathe. We taught them that. They got them, they painted it. You can't get mad at me like you're a racist. One, what they say racism is prejudice with power. I don't have power. I'm just prejudiced. Sorry. But y'all painted the crap. Y'all put the beautiful painting up there and charging like $20 million to buy that painting right now on a little black Moor woman showing the white girl water and showing her how to put it and introduce it with soap. Y'all did that. That's y'all history. Where we at? We got the Portuguese, right? Now we're going to explain the three heads. We're still in verse 24. So read verse 24 again. We're going to explain the three heads.
2nd Esdras, chapter 11 and verse 24. Then saw I also that two little feathers divided themselves from the six, and remained under the head that was upon the right side, for the four continued in their place. And I beheld, and lo, the feathers
that was 24? You finish it?
Yes, sir.
All right, so let's deal with these three heads. We're dealing with, who can guess?
I'm going to say one of the heads has got to be England or Great Britain.
Boom! One of the heads is Britain. All right? So we got Britain.
The other two should be easy.
We got the British. Who's the other two?
Russia.
Russia. Good. The big head.
Oh, America.
There you go. the one that was greater than the other two. Right? British came, Russia was in power and the British came, and then America came and dominated both of them. Right? But they all three still working together. How do we know? What's Trump's problem right now?
He's working with Russia.
He's been working with the Russian mafia since like 1970 something, right?
Fix the elections, all that.
He's been, they got pictures, they got memes of him sleeping with Putin and everything already because they're such best friends, right? He's been dealing with the Russians hand in hand while we was going through the Cold War. How the hell are you now the president of the United States? And we had a Cold War in the 80s. You was friends with the Russians in the 80s. We was in a Cold War with the Russians worried about a nuclear holocaust decimating the entire world. With what two nations? What two nations was going head to head with each other?
It was a Soviet Union back then in America.
The Soviet Union and America. Russia and America. And you was friends with them during that time? And now you're the goddamn president of America? This is why you gotta know your history, because your dumbass go in the voting booth and go vote for somebody that was friends with people that was trying to blow us off the map. If you don't know your history. You don't know that Donald Trump was messing with the Russians until you voted him into office. Oh, now we want to research. Now we want to see why he's over there playing with Putin. He never stopped. They've been buddies, man. They was buddies while the nation that he was working for was going to war with his nation. When Gorbachev was over there telling Ronald Reagan, I'm going to blow you up, and Ronald Reagan was like, nah, I'm going to blow you up, and I'm going to sell drugs. Like, Donald Trump and Putin was scratching each other's back. And you missed it and voted for it. Then you gotta get mad. Donald Trump is a racist. No, he never liked you. He was in bed with Russia. The same Russian president who, when Barack Obama came over there with all the other white emissaries and everything like that, and the Putin was over there shaking their hand, he got to Obama and just skipped his ass like, whoops. On video, he don't like you. Trump wasn't gonna like you, because they're buddies. Y'all see that? So who are the three heads we dealing with? We dealing with America, the British, and Russia. And the third, that big head, the one that was greater than the other, the middle head, that's America. All right, so now you get the breakdown of what happened in verse 24. I told you he was going to jump around. I told you had to be patient. You got to let this stuff roll out. So the three heads was the British, Russian, and American Empire. The British Empire, y'all ready for it? I'll give you dates, specific dates. Just in case polite get on here and you want to, y'all ain't got no dates. We got dates. You got books too. You got ate up with High Priest Shai in New York, so that's probably why he quit and started cooking. British Empire 1607 to 1997. British Empire 1607 to 1997.
These days are ringing bells, like around that time, the 1990s, that's when Prince, what's her name, Princess Diana, supposedly was going against Illuminati and they messed up her. So I'm like just remembering things.
No, go ahead.
No, I just like piecing these dates together. I just remember like growing up, like these were like news stories back then. Like I didn't get back then. It's like you said, it's coming to my memory now.
Right.
Nowhere.
Exactly. Now we know why it was a Cold War. Why didn't we just nuke them like we did with Japan? Like we did with Hiroshima and Nagasaki in Japan? Why didn't we just blow them off the map? Why didn't we just Agent Orange them like we did in Vietnam?
They got nukes too.
No.
Oh, we're in bed with them.
Because we was in bed with them. You know what I mean? You don't kill the one you love. We didn't love the Japanese. We didn't love the Vietnamese. Because they was trying to spread communism and trying to spread breaking off the International Monetary Fund. But Russia loved us, man. They needed our natural resources. The crops and things that we were shipping them before we started shipping them GMO, and then they said we don't want no more of your crap. Right? They was loving us because we was giving them natural grains, natural fruits. Right?
Sorry.
Yeah.
He's asking if anybody has any money. I ain't got no cash.
I didn't bring no with me. Yeah, I didn't bring no. Do we have the little homeless farm thing? I thought we had the little jar or something.
Oh, the change for change that we can collect.
Yeah, what's that for?
It's for the school to get water supplies.
Oh.
Oh, he's up.
tell her he's dead.
Yeah.
Where we at, man?
Going over the British Empire.
That's why I've been watching like RT, and they get like last year towards the beginning of his presidency, he was putting on all these sanctions on Russia, talking about we're gonna be hard on them. But now, like when you watch RT and all these world news sources, they're they're like in a conglomerate almost like. And this is before me. Like, I was like looking at it at work. I'm like, what the hell's going on? I thought we were gonna be tough on Russia, or not we, but.
Yeah, when we put sanctions on, like I said, Venezuela, they're starving. They ain't got no food.
Russia's still eating.
Russia's fine.
Russia's fine, yeah.
They ain't even got the bread lines they had in the 80s, man. They ain't got no sanctions on them.
This is a big hoax,
Yeah, but that's Trump talking stuff while he's in bed with them. You see that? Like brothers do with their ribs sometimes. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm gonna tell her, Rock. I'm gonna tell her. Why she still lipping off to you like that? I thought you told her. Well, when I got home, what had happened was she had made me like a quarter pound steak and some fries on the side, and she was rubbing my feet real good, and then we was watching the flick, and so you didn't tell her? Well, yeah, I'm gonna tell her. She's stupid anyway. I'm tired of her. Then they go home, make love again for 8 hours, right? And then she wake up and still act like the same horse she was, and the whole old mean ass she was before. You like, why ain't she changing? And you ain't telling her nothing. That's Putin and Trump right now. That's what Putin and Trump doing right now. Trump like, yeah, we gonna get y'all. We gonna, like he do. What he do with Korea? I forgot about Korea. Remember that?
Yeah, he put supposedly sanctions, and he's trying to. They're coming to some type of. It was like last week or 2 weeks ago. He's talking about their. He was saying they were close to coming to some agreement as far as like stopping the production of nuclear or whatever the nuclear weapons or whatever.
Yeah.
But then North Korea, Kim Jong-un came back and said that they have no interest in even like having these talks with America. So it's like Trump is just saying stuff, but it's coming out in the reports that Kim Jong-un is not even listening to this guy.
Yeah, because I'm like, wait a minute. You talking? We're gonna come down on you with this. He was talking like a damn WWE wrestler for a second, right? We're gonna come down on you with fiery fury. Oh yeah, right? And then it was like all of a sudden, Power Season 5 came out. Niggas forgot about Korea. We was about to bomb us off the map. I ain't heard about Korea. No nukes, no nothing. You know what I mean? Like, what the hell happened? Oh, Power Season 5 came out. Kim Jong-un was chilling. You trying to see what Ghost up to? What? Like the whole rest of the world, right? Like, what happened? What happens to these big ass wars that's supposed to be happening? Oh, we find out they was helping each other the whole time. This is what you're dealing with America and Russia. You understand? That's what you're dealing with America and Russia. So you got the British Empire, which is from 1607 to 1997. This is how long it took them to expand their empire. All right? The Russian Empire, the second head. Now remember, these three heads are the three heads in Esdras and Daniel. All right? Not the same ones as the dragon with the heads and all that in Revelation. So don't get confused when we get into that. All right? These three heads are of the eagle in Esdras and Daniel. So the second head is the Russian Empire from 1580 to now. 1580 to the present. There's going to be something else coincidental because you got an end to the expansion of the British Empire, right? Because we so-called beat them, right? But check this out. The Russian Empire is from 1580 to the present. The American Empire is from 1812 to guess when? Now. To now also. So they're still expanding their empires.
Yeah, 1812.
The two places that are supposed to be at war with each other are somehow coincidentally still expanding their empires from 1812 to the present.
That's true, because Russia just like 4 or 5 years ago, they invaded. It wasn't the Ukraine. It wasn't the Ukraine.
Yeah.
And they took over the
Crimea.
Yeah. Crimea. They took it over. God. I'm just thinking about the news like over the past years.
Right.
God. Crimea.
Yeah, see, it's starting to click now.
God.
Now, wait a minute. We thought they was ready to go to war with us, but they're expanding on the low. We've been watching it on the news the whole time. Oh, we thought America was gearing up to go to war with Russia, but they've been expanding on the low too.
Right to Puerto Rico.
Yeah. And so these other empires been fueling them, been feeding them. Britain is sending over all their actors and trying to send over money and do all this stuff. They trying to keep that fuel going. They trying to keep this eagle going. We thought we beat the British, but why they helping us? And why do we owe them $14 trillion? Or 16 trillion? What is it? Is the national debt now where every one of you was born owes $86,000 at birth?
The national debt, I think it's up to like 18 trillion now. It's like I think it's up to 18 now.
Insane, man. $18 trillion and you the superpower.
They about to come for Guyana too because they just they found they struck oil.
Uh-oh.
And it's like 150,000 barrels a day can be uplifted out there. So right now, like they got Russian mercenaries in Guyana. Like they got people like regular people like my uncles and stuff going out there trying to like dig for oil and stuff. And they had some news. They had Russian mercenaries going out there and basically kidnapping these guys, tying them up, beating them, and just running them out the area that struck for oil.
Wow.
So because it's like the largest find of oil like the last few like hundreds of years. You know, I always get these statistics.
Yeah.
But that's happening now. So look out for Guyana and Venezuela. That's going to be one of the two key players to where Russia and America are going to be trying to rush in because I already got Russian mercenaries in there.
Yeah.
Trying to run people out, and again, like they always do, is coming for people's resources.
And then if Clinton gets in office, it'll be, you know who needs democracy right now? Guyana. Like, what? Well, spell Guyana, bitch. What are you talking about? We ain't talked about Guyana ever.
Poor country.
But they found oil there, so they need democracy now, right? It's gonna be like that. And this is what's happening. These two heads are they expanding, man. They've been expanding, and America's the biggest of the heads, and they give the orders, but the orders are actually coming from inside the body of this eagle. You understand? When you read this dream, it's coming from the body of this eagle. So all these nations are supporting this.
When you say that, so the body means all the nations are supporting.
We're going to that. I jumped ahead. Sorry. Where we at? American Empire, 1812 to the present, right?
Okay.
Y'all be letting me make stuff slip, man. Verse 25. So now we recapping on some of those verses we just read over. And some of y'all was like, well, what does that mean? Hold on, wait. What does that mean? We're going back over. 25.
2nd Esdras chapter 11 and verse 25. And I beheld, and lo, the feathers that were under the wing thought to set up themselves, and to have the rule.
Okay, so that was 25, right? Okay, so this is talking about the German Austro-Hungarian Empire. The German and the Austro-Hungarian Empire, they allied during World War II. Sorry, World War I. World War I. The German and Austro-Hungarian Empire, they allied together in World War I. My library teacher we had a library teacher, not just a librarian, but he was like a teacher. He would teach you history, the real history, when you go into his thing, and he'd tell you to forget all that stuff he taught you in history class. It was funny as hell. But he'd tell you how these wars started, and this prince was going to marry this archduke so-and-so, and then they assassinated him thinking he was somebody else and trying to kill his wife or something like that. And then this started World War I. You're like, damn, it started over that? Yeah. Because these nations just needed a reason to start a war so they can try to introduce and suck in people to this International Monetary Fund, man. Y'all see that? So they will find anything. When you watch these movies, they do that. You see them doing it all the time. They be like, you watch these shows like Rain, you watch The Tudors, they find some reason to like, we have to invade Poland. Why? Poland ain't did nothing to nobody, right? Yeah, but we got to invade them because their queen isn't Protestant. What? You slept with his wife. You're not Catholic. Yeah, you want to invade them because they're not Catholic? Yeah. Well, I'll just pay you $1 million to shut the hell up about it, and we'll go ahead and do it. Okay, well, I'll take the money. Let's kill them. You know what I mean? You see that in the Vatican he's talking to. So you think of these two holy people, right? The Protestant, this Catholic king, and this Catholic bishop or Catholic pope is supposed to be, trying to push Jesus on everybody. And really, it's just about land and titles. Y'all see that? And it's like, wait a minute, y'all just invaded Poland because you said you wanted to give them Jesus, but you over there doing everything Jesus said not to do. You just poisoned your daughter. You just beheaded your 8th wife. What the hell are you talking about? You know what I mean? There ain't nothing Catholic, Christian, Jesus-like about you, but all of a sudden you want to spread this to some people that is Protestants, which just means they're protesting you acting like an animal under Jesus' name? Yeah, let's invade them. All right, I don't want you to behead me too. That's how crazy these niggas work. All right, they'll behead you for disagreeing. Y'all see that? But this is the times that we were dealing with back then. All those little dates that you got was times when these people were trying to expand their empire, make their legacy, and say, this is my land right here. This is my line in the sand. You understand? What's that?
I was going to say, people are so blind. Like, I remember when I was in middle school, I was talking about, or high school, I was talking about basically how when they invaded Iraq, the first thing they told you on the news was because of weapons of mass destruction. Then that narrative slowly changed in front of everybody's eyes, and now we're invading them because of wars against humanity, or crimes against humanity.
Yeah.
What about the crimes against humanity out in America? There's a whole movement saying that our lives matter because you guys are killing us that much. You talking about somebody else's crimes against humanity?
You choked a nigga out on video at gunpoint, and he was unarmed. But those women have to wear head coverings over there. What?
Makes no sense.
Wait, that's a crime against humanity, but you could shoot a nigga and blow his brains out, and he's 16 years old? You shot a 12-year-old on a playground for playing? But that woman having to cover her breasts up, that's a crime against humanity. That man making her not sleep with his friend, and when he found out about it, he chopped her head off. That's a crime against humanity. No, that's called justice, stupid ass. It doesn't look familiar to you because there ain't been no justice in America for them 200 years. If ever. That's funny, man. Like you said, it's like they want to try to enforce justice somewhere and there ain't no justice here. But this is what made them the greater head. They rule by fear. You understand? They rule by fear and threats and all that stuff like that. But they don't have no real power. And I hope you other nations are watching us on YouTube right now. America don't have no real power. Come and get it. Leave my house alone. Now, where are we at? Right, that was verse 25, right? So the German and Austro-Hungarian Empire, they allied in World War I. And the German and Italian empires allied in World War II. All right, so that's where you got the first one, the Austro-Hungarian. I forgot who the Austro-Hungarian leader was. That's the one it's slipping out of my brain. Archduke Ferdinand, I think.
Ferdinand, yeah.
That's him?
Yeah, that's him.
Austro-Hungarian, right?
Yeah, that's him.
There we go. Took a while. And then the Germans, I forgot who was leading Germany at the time. It was before Hitler. I don't know that. Wait, ain't it that crazy guy that was killing all the people in Africa?
I know you're
He was
talking
killing like millions of people.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I can't think of the name right now, though.
Yeah, it's slipping my head. But it was him. So they allied with Archduke Ferdinand. That was World War I. The German and Italians, so the Germans was under Hitler, allied with Benito Mussolini, the Italians, in World War II.
It was Wilhelm.
Frederick Wilhelm?
Yeah, the second.
That guy. That guy's an animal.
He was the king of Prussia.
Nah, we're going to bring him up in Revelations breakdown. That's how big he was.
It wasn't Hindenburg?
I don't know.
Von Hindenburg, that was...
Von Hindenburg?
Von Hindenburg was...
It says August 1919 to August 1934.
See, that's close to the World War.
And Austro-Hungarians with... where's that? Austro-Hungarian was...
Oh, you're talking about Austria?
1867 to 1918, so this is just before Von Hindenburg.
Got you, my bad.
Yeah, because German Empire, 1919. Yeah, it was just before Von Hindenburg. So that the other guy, Wilhelm, is that nutcase. Yeah, his ass made it all the way into Revelation. So wait for that one. German. Okay, so we got that right.
Done.
Everybody got it.
Done.
Okay, so we're gonna go back to 29, pick up from there. Don't worry, we'll fill in the blanks on these ones I'm skipping, all right? And I want you to read to verse 35. Let me know when you get to. Oh no, I'm sorry. Excuse my eyes, man. Yeah. Go back to 29. Let me know when you get to 32.
Go ahead. Second Esdras, chapter 11 and verse 29.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about earlier, Ronald Dawson, that, Venezuela, they sit on the biggest stockpile of oil in the world, bigger than Saudi Arabia. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. That's why they killed, set up Hugo Chavez, they set up that puppet governor, puppet president after Hugo Chavez, after they killed him. Leopold was, that's the guy, right? That's the crazy guy. I know there's Kaiser Wilhelm. Leopold has something to do with that too. Yeah. See, we got some history nuts on here. Y'all coming out the woodwork. Mega Movie 12.
Leopold was of Belgium, though.
Was that a Belgian? Yeah, she said I think, or he said I think Leopold was Dutch.
Yeah, he ran over the Belgians from 1865 to 1909.
Yeah, now they're saying from Belgium. So we're going to clear all this up, all right? We're going to clear all this up so when you... That's cool, because, we get to fill in some more names that I didn't even have in my notes. Because now when you deal with that Belgian Empire, right, one of the contrary feathers, from 1901 to 1962, you get to say that they was under Leopold. All right, so you get a little more names with the dates with the country. So the Austro-Hungarian Empire would have been Archduke Ferdinand. The German Empire at that time would have been the Wilhelm, crazy man, right? The Belgian Empire at that time would have been Leopold III. The Italian would have been Mussolini around World War II. So we get some names with some dates and everything like that in there. And again, you can do your research as some of y'all been doing and fill in the blanks. That's what's good. You can increase the class.
Sir.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I was just looking up. I was trying to find a leader that was killing people in Africa, right?
Right.
It was Southwest Africa, by the way, which probably is where we were at. But anyways, it's crazy because the timeline was around the time of Nazi Germany when they were exterminating the fake Jews.
Right.
Around that time, right? And it's crazy because they tell you about that. They tell you about that Holocaust, but I never knew that they were going down there and killing Africans. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because the other guy killed like 15 million Africans. They don't want to say nothing about that.
That's crazy.
What's that?
Not to get off topic, but the exterminating those Jews. They were just dirty people. A lot of them died what was called typhus flu. They weren't gassing. Those are actually shower porters. There's a lot of like, how I got the documentary, I advise brothers to get on it because what they do is they remove from YouTube, and people that are like, even like Edomites that hate so-called Jewish people, they'll keep uploading, and they give out a bunch of facts showing that, first of all, there wasn't 6 million Jews in Eastern Europe.
Yeah.
Secondly, they weren't gassing them. They go to like the actual buildings, and if they were so-called gassing them, and the guards that were actually responsible for gassing them would have died because you would need like airtight windows and all this other stuff. So it's like, it's a lot of facts behind it that show that's false. It's a hoax.
Yeah, they said the smokestacks would have had to been 100 feet in the air because it's a heavy gas that they were supposed to gassing them with. And it would have came down and killed all the guards outside.
I think it was cyanide, was it? Or no, it was I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact gases, but
it was a hoax.
I know they was saying mustard gas, but they were saying there's other gases because he was so-called experimenting on them. But one of the gases they were saying he used, I think it was cyanide.
I think so.
But he said it was so heavy it wouldn't have stayed in the air. It would have came down. So the smokestacks would have been 100 feet in the air. The ventilation stacks. But when you see footage of the planes flying over Germany, because they have video footage of those planes flying over Germany, there ain't no smokestacks or ventilation stacks that high in the air. So where's the evidence?
God.
Then you got your guy, I don't have the book, the 13th tribe of Arthur Kessler. It should be somewhere around here.
I got it on me.
He tells you there were not 6 million Jews in all of Europe, in the whole continent, much less Germany, the country. On the whole continent of Europe, there wasn't 6 million of those so-called Jews over there. So how the hell you gonna have 6 million Jews got killed in the Holocaust? But that's how they got Germany into the International Monetary Fund after under Hitler. Hitler didn't want to be part of the International Monetary Fund. He was backing his country with gold money, and he was making sure that when the trains came on time, they said they was going to be here at a time, they would be there on time, and there was bread on every table. That's what they were trying to stop. They was trying to stop communism. You know where communism comes from? Acts, chapter 5, chapter 4. Everybody having all things common. That's what they was trying to stop. Y'all see that? We give y'all a lot of meat, a lot of history, man. Y'all gonna be in history books till the day you die, just hearing this class. So have fun with it. Get your research on. All right. Where we at now? You're at 25. You're at 29, and read to verse 32. All right.
Second Esdras, chapter 11 and verse 29.
Go ahead.
And when they so thought, behold, there awakened one of the heads that were at rest, namely, it that was in the midst, for that was greater than the two other heads.
Right. So the one in the middle that was greater than the two other heads. That's who?
America.
That's America, right? Over who?
Russia and Britain.
Russia and Britain. There you go. That's the two other heads. Go ahead.
And then I saw that the two other heads were joined with it.
They were what?
Joined with it.
What? Nah. They was joined with it. We weren't at war with the British. We was in bed with the British. We didn't win the Revolutionary War. Come on, baby.
What time period is this?
The Revolutionary War, 1776.
Verse 30, what time period is that? Is that talking about a specific time period? Or just talking about just in general period? Like
This is at all times. We've never been at war with these people. It was a hoax, man. You got the wool pulled over your eyes with media coverage. Let's think about it. How did the Revolutionary War start?
Supposedly some Native Americans snuck onto the Great Britain ships where they were bringing tea over to America.
Boston tea.
Yeah, the Boston Tea Party, and they dumped the tea out.
Right? And were they really Native Americans?
Nah, they were Esau.
They
The
were
Edomites that dressed up as Native Americans.
Americans, right? Dressed up like British.
Oh,
That's what it
my bad.
British.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah,
Or dressed up like Indians to dump the British tea in the harbor, right?
Right.
False flag. That's what you call that today. You call that a false flag operation. I'm gonna dress up like your friends, dump your tea in the harbor, and now what happened?
Motherland gets angry.
Now you're mad at your friends. Before, the king over there, King George, said, you colonists, you American colonists, cannot colonize past the Appalachian Mountains. You can't go further than like New York and all the 13 original colonies that were right there. You can't go any further west. But now I hate them Indians that I was trying to protect from you savages, right? Now I hate those Indians because they dumped my tea in the harbor. So y'all go ahead and colonize whatever the hell y'all want. Eminent domain, cool, I put my stamp on it. Manifest destiny, cool, I put my stamp on it. Kill everybody. Take what you want. So that allowed them to go ahead and expand into the West. But guess what? How do we now currently have a $15 million debt, $18 billion trillion debt to Britain?
Start right there.
Well, because see, we weren't at war with the British. We had to play out the events in order to be able to colonize another land for the British and send them back stuff they can't get in Europe. Y'all see that? Britain needed them Indian lands just as much as we wanted, as much as the so-called colonists, the other branch of the Edomite Empire wanted them lands. Y'all see that? They were never at war with each other. Otherwise, how I beat your ass and owe you money?
That's true.
And we didn't go to court.
Oh, man.
How I owe you money? Oh, because guess what? I borrowed from you to kill the Indians. I borrowed money and then I sold all my people into slavery and for gold from the British to be able to buy weapons to kill the Native Americans. To expand territory for who? The British.
I mean,
So the British could look like the good guys and say, well, no, remember I had that treaty with them. But you ain't gonna tell nobody you ratified the treaty and let the Americans slaughter all those Native Americans, your friends? Why you didn't come protect them if they were your friends? Because I needed that land too. Because I was giving the Americans guns and weapons and everything else that they needed to kill those Native Americans off that land.
exactly.
Y'all see that? The scriptures are showing you those three heads never been at war. Those three heads were what? What is
Joined with it.
joined with it. They was joined with America, man. Those two heads never been at war. There was no Cold War. It ain't nothing cold about it. I got nukes. You got nukes. Well, let's go, nigga. Or let's not. Let's just talk about it for 10 goddamn years. Meanwhile, Trump's making millions of dollars. Doing what? Playing with Putin, a Russian. During the Cold War, and now he's president. Now he runs the country over here. So who really runs the country over here? Russia. And Britain. Y'all see that? There ain't no war. They all on top. They're all doing it. America just looks greater. Y'all see that? The other nations won't go to war because they understand these three heads are joined together. There's no war between them. They know if at any time they go against Russia, they stand up against Russia, here's going to come America. Why? Because now it's coming to light. Trump's messing with them, right? They know if at any time they try to come up against America, what's going to happen? Here's going to come Russia. Why? Because we send them natural resources. Here's going to come Britain. Y'all see that? Because we helped them out in World War II to obtain Germany under the International Monetary Fund. It's all going to be circular. They already know what's going to happen. You got to think about it. Why wouldn't anybody want to attack America? We're uneducated. We got our armies in every different nation on the planet. We ain't even at home. We can't even protect our home. Why not rape the woman with her pants down? Oh, because that woman got bodyguards. Y'all see that? And every other nation knows it but you. Every other nation knows it but Israel, man. But what you think is going to happen is there's going to be a race war. There's going to be blacks against America. The Black Panther Party reincarnated against America. Okay, y'all gonna fight Russia too? What about Britain?
Right.
What about all the other nations that make money off America that's gonna be mad if you start killing Americans? Go ahead and pull that Nat Turner crap. You think you modern day Nat Turner? Go ahead. They will pull armies from that you ain't even speaking a language to kill you. Because they want that dough. Let's get back. We found out the scriptures told you this, though, right? There ain't no war. These three nations are not at war with each other. They never have been. They've been helping each other, expand each other's territory. Read on.
Second Esdras chapter 11.
Sorry. Do we have questions? I asked that for a while, so.
I got a question.
Was it 10 already? Jesus Christ.
Nah, I can say it because
What you got?
Nah, I can say it because it's going into like other chapters of the prophecies because it does say like like the Gog and Magog and that's it's something I can go over later.
Yeah, we can't just breeze through the rest of it. Because I was going to try to breeze through 11, but there's a lot of meat there. And then when 12 comes out, it's going to solidify everything together. So
where y'all at now?
We're at verse 25.
In what chapter?
29.
No, 30.
31.
Oh, 11. Oh, okay.
Yeah, 31.
Yeah, give me till we get like right here. I won't put too much in there because these are just quick. Read 30. Read 31.
You read 30.
Okay, read 31. And then let me know when you get to 32.
Second Esdras chapter 11 and verse 31. And behold, the head was turned with them that were with it, and did eat up the two feathers.
Uh-oh.
Under the.
This is what verse?
31.
All right. So the head was turned, and he ate up the two feathers that was trying to come against it. Another subject. We'll get to that. We'll clarify it. Read on.
And did eat up the two feathers under the wing that would have reigned.
Right.
But this head put the whole earth in fear, and bear rule in it over all those that dwelt upon the earth.
Where you at?
Verse 32.
That's the British. This put the whole earth in fear. How they do it? With World War II. You understand? When World War II came, America wasn't involved in World War II for the longest time. What's his name?
Winston Churchill.
Winston Churchill got on the radio, put America on blast. Why would you help us? We need you. They're basically paying us to get into World War II. Well, why wouldn't America join in a war against an evil dictator that was killing 6 million people? That's evil. We gotta stop this, right? We're G.I. Joe. We're the good guys.
Right.
What happened?
They were trying to free slaves.
We didn't give a damn. We didn't give a damn. You ain't got no natural resources in Germany. We don't need you. You ain't got no oil. You ain't got no drugs. You ain't got no, what's the other one? G-O-D? The God they trusted. Gold, oil, and drugs, right? You ain't got it. We don't need you. We don't need to be involved in no war with you. There's nothing to win. You don't need democracy if you ain't got God. Y'all see that? So they didn't mess with that until Winston Churchill started put them on blast for not helping. Then they come in, join in, blew up some people. There you go. Here's Hitler on the silver platter. All right? But this was the British that put the whole earth in fear. They started telling everybody, hey, y'all got to help us fight this evil, fight these evil empires and all this stuff. I couldn't just leave them alone. They have nothing to do with you. Well, they're killing Jews. Really? You mean the same Jews that run your kingdom? They're killing those people? How many did they kill? 6 million. You got 6 million in your whole continent. In your whole empire, you don't have 6 million. What are you talking about? Just join in, or we kill you too. They put the whole earth in fear. You understand? We'll bomb you next. After we bomb them, we're going to come and bomb you. Okay, we'll help. Right? Oh, well, listen, okay, you guys still won't be involved? Okay, hey, let's talk to the Japanese and let them know where all the fleet is over there in Hawaii. That'll make them join in. Another false flag, right? Because they said they already knew the planes were coming to bomb the ships. They were already warned. Why they didn't move? Why they didn't circle the ships? Why they didn't? Those are all destroyers. Why they didn't shoot back beforehand, right? Because they didn't want that. That was their impetus to get into the war. Impetus meaning a way.
A reason.
Once you instigated me, now I have a reason. There you go. Y'all see that? That was their reason for getting into World War II. Was, oh, you blew up my guys. Well, you left them all out in the open and told us where they were. Well, now we got a reason. Y'all see that? Now we're the good guys. So this was the British to put all the nations in fear. Read verse 33.
And after this, I beheld, and lo, the head that was in the midst suddenly appeared no more.
All right, so excuse me. As I said, some of this, it fills in the blanks. That's why I didn't want to jump ahead. At this time, that middle head was the British. All right? That middle head that was greater than the other two, at this time was the British. Now, what happened was, read it again.
And after this, I beheld, and lo, the head that was in the midst suddenly appeared no more.
See, it appeared no more doesn't mean Britain dissolved and disappeared. It means all their holdings dissolved. All their big time standing dissolved. Why? Because, well, America had to come in and help y'all whoop them. We had to help you. So we're the big time now. Y'all see that? That on the world stage, now America took over as the bigger head. Because the British one, it said it appeared no more. It was dissolved. All their holdings got dissolved. Y'all see that? Go ahead.
But there remained the two heads, which also in like sort ruled upon the earth.
All right, so all their holdings were dissolved in 1997. That's why you see that end date, 1997. All those holdings, all the British holdings got dissolved. All right? And we're saying allegedly, because remember, all three of these heads, they have been together. So they still got holdings here, but you just don't know about it. We still got holdings in Britain, but we just, people just don't know about it on the world stage. Because they're all three the same family. All right? 33. You read that? 34.
But there remained the two heads.
There remain what?
The two heads.
America and Britain. Okay? So I switched that around. Now we get into it. Where we're explaining that. Like I said, I didn't want to jump ahead because every time I jump ahead, it goes back and it clarifies and I messed it up.
I thought the two heads would be America and Russia because Britain already dissolved.
Yeah, Britain was dissolved. Did I say America and Britain? America and Russia. Alright? So we got America and Russia as the two heads that was left after the British holdings were dissolved in 1997. Go ahead.
Which also in like sort ruled upon the earth, and over those that dwelt therein.
See, they ruled in like sort. They did the same thing the British did. They ruled the same way. Same crooked empire, same false flag operations, same what is that? A manifest destiny mentality. Y'all see that? Same, I gotta expand and take over everybody, and everybody that's not doing what I do is a savage. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 35. And I beheld, and lo, the head upon the right side devoured it that was upon the left side.
We'll go into that when we go into 12. Keep going, read on to verse 39.
Then I heard a voice which said unto me, Look before thee, and consider the thing that thou seest. And I beheld, and lo, so it were a roaring lion chased out of the wood. And I saw that he sent out a man's voice unto the eagle, and said, Hear thou, I will talk with thee.
So some of y'all can guess what that is, right? been talking about the eagle the whole time. Who were they?
That was the Roman Empire.
Who's the lion?
Yahweh Shai.
There we go. It's us. It's Israel. Yahweh Shai. You understand? Who always represented the lion almost. I think it's Revelation. It was us. Right? It's the lion of Judah. Right? And he's giving notice to these kingdoms. We'll talk about that. Go ahead.
Hear thou, I will talk with thee, and the highest shall say unto thee, art not thou it that remainest of the four beasts, whom I made to rule, to reign in my world, that the end of their times might come through them? And the fourth came and overcame all the beasts that were past, and had power over the world with great fearfulness, and over the whole compass of the earth with much wicked oppression.
Any of this sounded familiar? Where you at?
This verse 40, the last precept.
All right, so you read verse 39?
Sir.
All right, so the eagle is the last empire of the Gentile rule. So after that, it ain't gonna be no, oh yeah, now we're under Hungarian rule. Oh no, man. So we already, this is that seventh kingdom that was gonna pass over us, right? We already had the Egyptians, we had the Babylonians, the Assyrians, the Persians, and the Greek, the Roman, and now America, right? What's 7?
Completion.
Number of completion. Maybe this is over after this.
Yeah, but if you let the ones that say Esau's not the white man tell it, we have another captivity coming.
Oh,
Right.
The Esau's not the white manners. For y'all out there that's talking about Esau's not the white man, if that's the case, then we got another 400 years of slavery.
yeah, we got to go into another slavery under
under Saudi Arabia. So we got to go to Saudi Arabia. We got to get drugged from this continent to Saudi Arabia and be put under captivity if Esau is not the white man.
That would be extra.
If this ain't the last, say it again.
I said that would be extra depressing.
But kill me now.
But do you all see how going through this and learning this history is now clearing up another subject? This gotta be the white man. Esau gotta be the so-called white man because this is the last kingdom.
And then even when you go into Daniel's, it's like, what is it, Daniel 7, it goes in and it talks about the kingdom. So if this ain't the last captivity, listen, put a bullet in my head now. I'm good. There ain't no point because we got another 400 years to look forward to.
Or that would be to say there's going to be a worse kingdom after
this one. Right, there's going to be something worse.
Like, what the hell kind of kingdom is that?
Right.
That's going to be like the straight ass raper rhino kingdom. Like, it's just a bunch of rhinos that come by and just randomly rape you.
They don't warm you up to it. They don't warm you up to it like at least America did.
Yeah.
They don't warm you up. They just take it in the middle of the streets.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
There's a worse kingdom than this? No, sorry. Come on, man. Come on. There can't be worse than this, man. It can't get worse. Please tell me, Jesus Christ, like you said, put a bullet in my head.
Yeah.
It cannot get worse than this, man.
End me now.
That don't even make sense to say that. Like, and what are the Saudi Arabians doing? Like, they still playing catch up to the wickedness of America.
Yeah, they're barely there.
They still worshiping Baal. They like beating themselves until they're bloody and everything. That's still 3,000 years ago in the time of Daniel and Elijah. Beating themselves till they're bloody. They're still worshiping Baal. But you telling us they're going to be more advanced in their wickedness than this country? Nah, man. They even stopped sacrificing babies to Baal. They just beat themselves. Right? America is like beyond that. Right. They're like, we're not just going to sacrifice your babies, we're going to feed them to you. Damn. What? As a flavoring. What? And it's going to make sense to you. It like don't really, but Pepsi is the taste of a new generation.
It does taste like Pepsi. Pepsi 1.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Maybe that's where they got the slogan from, the taste of a new generation.
Wow. Yeah, because baby stem cell embryos.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean?
That's what makes you just want to eat it more, drink it more.
Yeah. Like, now we gotta start analyzing slogans, man. How demonic are those? Y'all see that? But listen, this gotta be it, man. They're feeding us our own children, man. They're doing stem cell research. They're doing stem cell experiments. They drawing your blood and selling it off to this. They're drawing your melanin out and selling it off to countries, trying to make pale people black. You know what I mean? They're doing everything you read in a comic book. Everything you read in a comic book, it used to be some future stuff. It'd be like, damn, I can't wait till that happens. Now it's like art is now imitating life. Now you read about something in a comic book where you're like, yeah, I know where that happened. I know where there was a guy that acted just like that. Y'all see that?
God.
All that evil stuff you see the bad guy doing in the comic book, you find out it's America the whole time. You know what I mean? Oh, that guy's evil. Look at him. He's injecting that guy with a disease, watching him die. X-Men, go get him. Avengers assemble. Right? Then Hillary Clinton come out. In the 80s, we was injecting people with germs and syphilis and gonorrhea.
Oh,
and let them die.
And they come out now and they tell you, yeah, all the vaccines are germs and syphilis and all that stuff, and people are dying.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I saw they keep trying to push the vaccines on me at the dialysis. I'm like, y'all trying to push all these vaccines on me. I know what they're made out of. You don't even want to tell me what they're made out of. You know what I mean? Like watching videos with another doctor breaking down what all this got monkey brains in it and proteins from pigs and proteins from shellfish and proteins from other humans and then they're combined with the virus, so we gave those to kill them. And we took their dead body and took the cells and the proteins from that, and we're gonna inject that into you so you don't get it. Well, I ain't never had it before. Why would I get it?
Why I need to introduce it to my system?
Right. I ain't never got it to this date. So I clearly already have the antibodies to make me not get hepatitis B.
Yeah.
But you want to inject me with hepatitis B so I don't get hepatitis B. That sounds like you want to rob me so I don't ever go broke.
Right.
I'm good. I'm good on that. Where you at, man?
Verse 40.
Well, I'm saying all that to say there ain't no more wicked kingdom. We in that seventh one. Esau is the devil. They are the so-called white man. Get over it.
God.
Go ahead.
2nd Esdras chapter 11, verse 40, last precept.
This will be the last one. Read verse 40 again.
Go ahead. And the fourth came and overcame all the beasts that were past and had power over the world with great fearfulness.
So when we're going back to the beasts, we're not talking about the heads no more. Don't get confused. We're going back to the 4 beasts of Daniel. Daniel 7. All right. And what started at the chapter in, I think, chapter 1 of this one. We're doing the 4 beasts from Daniel. All right. So what the fourth beast deeds were, this is from the Roman Empire to the Renaissance. The eagle deals deceitfully. All right, so this is what the beast's been doing since the Roman Empire, man. From the Roman Empire to the Renaissance, they've been dealing deceitfully. They've been lying to you.
God.
Now it's all clicking, right?
God.
Read it again.
Good. And the fourth came and overcame all the beasts
You
that were
overcame
past.
all the other beasts from before, right? This Edomite kingdom, this fourth Edomite kingdom, it came and it overcame all the beasts from before. Go ahead.
And had power over the world.
It had power over the whole world. Go ahead. Water, air, land, everything. Go ahead.
With great fearfulness.
With great fearfulness. Everybody's scared of America. Everybody saw what they did to Hiroshima, Nagasaki, Vietnam. We don't want that. France don't want it. Y'all see that? Go ahead.
And over the whole compass of the earth.
Right?
With much wickedness.
With much wickedness. What?
Much wicked oppression.
With much wicked oppression. Go ahead.
And so long time.
You saw verse 40? Go ahead.
And so long time dwelt he upon the earth with deceit.
See that? And he dwelt a long time on the earth with deceit. Now, when the Bible says a long time, we know a day of the Most High is 1,000 years. 1,000 years but a day, right? So if the Bible it's saying a long time, it's not talking about the great time that Julius Caesar had back then, or I'm sorry, Octavius, Augustus, right? We're not talking about that great time where he ruled for like 41 years. We're talking about a long time, man. We're talking about the whole rule of America, the whole American Empire's rule of 400 years, man. You understand? Where they've had rule over the whole world for the last 200 years. Go ahead. Was that
Verse
it?
41.
So we'll stop there. All right. To be continued. All right. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the class. Hopefully you got a lot out of it. By Friday, right?
Yeah.
By Friday, y'all should have a lot of research under your belt, trying to look up all this stuff and make sure everything I was saying that was true, like the Bereans did in Acts chapter 6. All right. Y'all need to research these things. Make sure the things I'm saying are true. Otherwise, you're in a cult. All right. We don't teach cult. We teach school. You're students. All right. So we'll see y'all Friday, 6 to 9 p.m. All right. And we'll finish up this, and then we'll get into chapter 12, and it'll give more clarity to chapter 11. If y'all have any questions, write them down, save them till Friday. We will deal with your questions on Friday. And we're also going to get together. We got to get a class together on Song of Solomon chapter 1, if we haven't done it already. Breaking down Song of Solomon. Yeah. And I started it, but I was like, I don't want to go too deep into this because it's going to go millions of scriptures.
Yeah.
All right, but yeah, Song of Solomon chapter 1.
Who asked that?
Somebody online.
Yeah, we'll get that.
All right.
We'll get that. A lot of scriptures on that.
Okay. So, we'll see y'all then. Same channel. You can catch us also on Facebook Live under Israelite School of Biblical History and Practical Knowledge. That's where we are on Facebook. We got the YouTube channels. ISBHPK is where you catch the live classes. That's what we're on now. Most of you. And then also Israelite School of Biblical History and Practical Knowledge on YouTube. That gives you our old shows, old classes, old cable shows, all that stuff. Street Speaking and everything. You can also go to Kazakia on YouTube, right?
No, it's just ISBHPK.
Oh, he changed to that?
That's what we're on now. ISBHPK, 5 Minutes of Wisdom, and ISBHPK Kids.
There it is. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And again, catch us in San Antonio, catch us in Albuquerque, New Mexico. We gave you the addresses earlier, so just rewind to the beginning. And with that, we're going to say shalom.
Shalom!
Now, even my brain started getting twisted at the end. I'm like, wait a minute, let me slow down. Let's hold this rest of this class for another day.
Quick question. Verse 31, the two feathers that were swallowed up, that was Germany, right? Germany and Italian Empire. The two feathers.
Jesus is real, but you devils taught lies on Christ.